Welcome, everybody. This is Will Torres, and we are VSN coming at you live from Burger Field tonight, Friday night, Imperial Valley football on a Saturday night edition at Hopeville High School on Burger Field. You have the visiting Brawley Wildcats versus the Hopeville Vikings. With me today is my broadcast partner, two-time All-CIF, All-DVL Imperial Valley, 1981. He was also captain of his senior year. Glad to have him with me, a guy that can break down film, Ron Rubio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Holtville. As Will said, at the start of the 2020 season in 2021. Isn't that something, Will?
You know, it's called for different times, but I think this whole thing happened so fast. I mean,
right.
This whole thing, as we all know, this has been one roller coaster ride. We're playing, we're not playing. You know, it's on, it's off. Hey, get ready. Let's start practicing. Hey, let's do it this way. CIF said it's going to start, then it doesn't start, then the county jumps in. Look, you know what matters tonight, people? That you're here with us tonight. And I know it's at a limited space because they're only allowing two tickets per player, and we get that. Listen, I mean, I hope you're all sitting back and enjoying this broadcast. We're going to bring something to you that we're going to bring his knowledge, Ron's knowledge, and from all the coaching experience, 30-plus years in the high school coaching, and we're going to bring you some football, Ron. And if we're going to start a season. This is one of the matchups I wanted to see, Ron.
Well, it's a very interesting matchup. One of the storylines of this matchup is it's Hopeville versus Brawley, of course. Hopeville is now let's rewind on that. Brawley now finds himself in like uncharted water right now. Why? They're the bigger team. And that's an unusual, very unusual case for the Wildcats when they do play. They're usually the smaller opponent. Hopeville's in the shoes Brawley's always been in, basically. And tonight, Will, is the culmination of this. It's been a 2-week blitz.
Yes.
2-week blitz to get ready for tonight. So we're going to see what kind of football, what kind of brand of football is going to be played tonight, how are things going to work. The teams are going to look rusty. They've been practicing for 10 days. And in an amount of 10 days, I know some teams we're doing 2-a-days, basically having 20 practices up to this point. So we're going to see what's going on. What's the game plan? Are things going to be simple, basic football? And let's see where it gets the teams tonight.
One of the things we're going to look for, Ron, is we had the privilege and we've been talking to Coach Turner. Well, I have, and Ron and I joined in on that meeting last night. But we've been talking to Turner since right after the football season, which would have been spring ball 2020, Ron. And the feeling that we got from Coach Turner, this guy's got a vibe. This guy, we had said it in the earlier interviews with Coach Turner. We had mentioned that we had a phrase going with him, Ron. We were calling him, this is Turner's time. Why is it Turner's time? He was going to come back with 22 seniors on this quad. He's been ranked number 1 in his division since last year. And that's another note. I believe Billy Brewer informed me that whatever team, whatever division they're in, Ron, I didn't know if you might be aware of this with Coach Self, you might have been talking to, but whatever division you go into the spring is the division you are going to go into when the regular season starts.
Good one.
So that's a plus. Now, will Hopeville still hold the number 1 ranking? Well, I think tonight's going to be a big factor in that, Ron.
It's going to be a big factor, Will, and, it's going to be based on, these 6-5 games that these teams play, how they'll be ranked coming into the next season, which will be the official 2021 season. So these 5-6 games that these kids are going to play, that the schools are going to play, very important for the rankings, and let's see where the chips fall, man.
Well, one of the things that Hopeville, that Coach Turner was telling us, look, he wants to keep this simple. Now, me and Ron and I had the privilege we broadcasted the game last year at Imperial versus Hopeville. Now, very easily, we even told Turner this yesterday. Ron and I were talking about this with Coach Turner. That game could have easily been 21-6 at halftime, Ron.
Easily should have been that score. Hopeville, as I remember, had a few turnovers down inside the red zone of Imperial. Imperial didn't know what hit them early on in that game, and then Luckily for Imperial, halftime came around and Ligera made adjustments, and they came out smoking in the second half, and it was a different story. But that being said, right now Hopeville is taking on, as Turner said it, it's a traditional football team in Brawley, very strong football community, and Turner wants to get Hopeville right along the same level as Brawley, and tonight's the first step in achieving that.
Well, one of the things, Turner might not be coming in with 22 seniors, Ron, but I'll tell you what, he's coming in with experience. And that's one of the keys we talked about, Ron. When you can have a team that has 15-plus seniors, that just shows that you have a lot of experience. And I think Hopeville, after that Imperial game, learned a lot. Now, this is
an interesting thing on the captains here.
Yeah, I guess they're going with one captain's itch while we're on the field. That's number 41. That's
Chandler Self.
And number 16, Jose Duval. Now, one of the things Coach Turner did mention to us last night, Ron, he's going to keep it simple. In fact, his two biggest plays are going to be Jose left and Duval right. I mean, that's how simple he wants to keep it. He goes, look, we just want to play our brand of football. We want to show Imperial Valley. He goes, look, I believe, Coach Turner believes, his coaches believe, his players believe, the community, the strong community of Hopeville Vikings, the alumni, they believe they're in a good position to play Brawley tonight. Now, he has nothing to prove, but one of the things, Ron, he is excited. He was ecstatic that he got a chance to set up a game against Brawley. And, Coach Turner was not going to take a practice. Coach Turner wanted a game, Ron.
It was set up as a scrimmage, and, as the Calipatria opted out of the season, that left a hole in Hopeville's schedule. So John Self and Turner agreed, hey, why not, instead of the scrimmage, let's just make it a ball game. They've had plenty of practices, and like I said, we classified this as a preseason game. Yeah. It's something like you would see maybe in the NFL, preseason game that doesn't count, but this counts to the kids and it counts to the parents, and let's see where we stand.
We're going to take a time right now while our national anthem is played right now, and we'll come right back with a couple more comments before our kickoff. Welcome back now. Currently, the conditions we have, when I saw the weather report, we're going to have about 52 degrees. The wind's going to be about 12 to 15 miles an hour. And it doesn't matter, Ron. It didn't matter if it was going to be raining, if it was going to be snowing, if it was going to be 120 with 90% humidity. This game was going to happen.
It's going to happen, and the wind's coming in from the west as we're looking at the flagpole there. A little bit of gust. Will it affect the passing game? We'll have to wait and see. The team that will be going from the west goal line to the east has the advantage with the wind behind their back. So let's see what the offensive coordinator, Brandon Young, has in store for the Hopeville defense.
And right now I'd like to announce tonight's referees. Very experienced crew that we have out here. We have Mr. J.J. Jackson. He will be our white hat. And in the middle we will have Matus. On the side flanks, we're going to have Randy Ross. In the backfield, our most trusted, well, not our most trusted, one of the most trusted referees, that's Michael Garcia. And on the Brawley side, we're going to have Randy Ross. And that's your officiating crew brought to you tonight. And looks like the Hopeville Vikings are going to receive the kickoff, Ron. That's one of the good things, Ron. Let's see what Hopeville got. So, you know what? They want that ball. I personally believe that their strength, behind their line is going to be their offense. Let's see what Brawley's got.
Deep to receive for the Vikings will be number 16. That's Jose Duval. And number 5, Abraham Ramos. Abraham Ramos, short guy, but very, very quick. And kicking off for the Brawley Wildcats will be number 12, Jorge Haro. Jorge Haro, member of the soccer team.
Let me just clarify that. I've been saying it wrong. It's Jose Devo.
Duval. And here we go, and our season is about to start. We're going to play some football now, people. Takes a bounce at the 10. It's Duval at the 12. He's bouncing up to his right. Gets a little cutback. He's going to hit to the 30. Bounces out to the 35, 34-yard line. 36. Make that to 35. Good little run back by Duval.
And that coming in for the tackle for the number for the Wildcats is number 17. That's Noah Gonzalez. And Ron, when you're coming out and you're receiving the ball, I know that was a short kick, but look, the Vikings still got 20 yards on that run up to the 35-yard line. That's a good field position right there for the Vikings.
There wasn't much height on the kick, and so therefore they had enough time to set up a little wedge for Jose. Now, Jose, please forgive us. We may step all over that last name of yours. So here it is, Duval on Wildcat formation. He's back to pass. He's rolling to his right. He's going to keep it. Cuts back to the 42-yard line, 43. So everybody's dropping back. Defense is dropping back. He sees that it's open. No receivers are open. He's going to take off.
Well, Ron, when he takes back and all his receivers are covered, that's one of the guys you want holding the ball. In fact, he reminds me a lot on the opposite end on the Wildcats, number 13. Because, look, it's an empty backfield except for DeVoe back there.
Empty backfield is correct. Again, looks like a quarterback draw. It's not a design play. And we're going to get a face mask. Looks like something.
And let's get those flags in early and out of the way now. And it looks like it might be a holding call against the Vikings here.
I'm going to go on the record and think it might have been a face mask.
Yeah, I think you might be correct there. Good call, Ron. A little bit rusty here on the call.
Yeah, we're going to be rusty, marbles in the mouth and whatnot, but we're going to get them out of it. We'll get out of it, Will.
Well, the thing about that being a face mask, that's what might have brought him down, because that hole closed up real quick on the right side of the Wildcats there, Ron.
Well, it knocked his head around a little bit, and he, lost a little bit of vision. Here we go, same formation, but now Ramos was back there. We're in the empty set. It's a give to Ramos. Ramos fumbles the handoff. Was cutting to the right. Now he's going to cut back to the middle, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to lose 4 yards on that. So a mishandle, something you're going to see a little bit of, maybe on both sides of the ball. A little bit of timing was up on that.
Yeah, and maybe that's one of the reasons Coach Turner wanted to have Jose handle the ball more to eliminate some of these mistakes that are, that are going to be made on both sides. The less amount of handoffs you have, because that timing's going to be off, better for both teams.
A basic sweep, and Ramos should have handled that ball a little bit better now. Ramos back in the huddle. Looks like he's going to be the play caller all night long. There is another quarterback on the roster, Eric Garcia. I believe he was a transfer from the Spartans, Central Spartans, that is. Looks like they have doubles on both sides. Trips to the right. I'm sorry. The give is back. Same play to Ramos. Ramos to the left. Strung out very well by the Wildcats, Will.
And I want to point out, Ron, the offensive line for the Hopeville Vikings. At right tackle, we have number 50, that's 52, Nicholas Venegas. And then also inside tackle at guard, inside guard is number 68, Nathan Maturo. That's Nathan Maturo. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, and I apologize for that. But that's on the right-hand side of the Hopeville Vikings offensive line.
So now we're looking at a third down, 3rd and 15. DeVoe's rolling to his right. It's a short little pad, a little too high for number 5. Ramos was the intended receiver. Incomplete. Now it's going to be 4th down.
Now, I know it's early in the game, but Turner's almost midfield right now. And if he would have caught that, Ron, I know it would have been short, and then they probably would have snuck out, but it probably would have made it 4th and about 7 and 8. And tell you the truth, he was wide open in the middle right
He
there
was
on
open.
that pass.
The kid was open. It was overthrown.
Now, the only situation that the Vikings might have if they do go into punt formation is they will be punting into the wind. And we almost have the flag straight out. So we are still about at 12, 13, 14 miles an hour wind into the Vikings' face.
Punt formation. This is where you'll see a little bit of hiccups on special teams. You know, some kids running in and out. They're not sure if they're on there. Back to punt is DeVoe. High snap. He catches it. Decent punt. It's going to take a bounce, and it takes a Brawley bounce all the way back to the 45-yard line. It took a ricochet, bounce at the Brawley 38, made its way all the way up to the 45-yard line. So probably a net of 12 yards on that punt. Into the wind, that's what's going to happen when you're kicking into the wind, Will.
Yeah, the bounce back into Viking territory was almost as long as the punt there, Ron. So that's what, like you said, that's what's going to happen when you're facing the wind in that kind of formation. So now we do have the wind conditions are going to be lowering quite a bit at the end of the game. I don't know if that's going to make a difference for either team right now, but it is playing a part right now if you are facing the wind.
Brawley will have the ball at the 45-yard line. They're on the right hash. Brawley is in a single back set. It's their wing set. They have two wings. Ethan Gutierrez under center. He's the sophomore with the fumbled snap. That's the second mishandled ball that we've seen so far on both sides of the ball. And these are the kind of things that are expected. But a snap, quarterback, center to quarterback, that should be basic.
Yeah,
basic execution.
Yeah.
So that being said, it's going to be now 2nd down and 11 for the Wildcats.
I could understand if it's that shotgun formation, but okay, you know what, Ron? Let's just say they got that one out of the way. They got that one out of the way. Let's continue after that.
2nd down and 11, same set, wing. They give us to Isaiah Young. Isaiah Young bounces it off to right, and he's going to bull his way up to the 50-yard line. Ron, gain of 6 yards for Isaiah Young, number 23, young man, junior.
Talk to me a little bit about in the backfield for the Wildcats, Ron.
Well, if you're going to talk about the Wildcat backfield, you have to start with number 13, and that is Ethan Gutierrez, a kid who came in as a freshman. Injuries caused him to be the quarterback for the Wildcats last year as a legitimate freshman. And alongside him tonight, back in the backfield right now as a junior, is Isaiah Young, son of offensive coordinator Brandon Young. So a lot of youth in the backfield for the Wildcats. Jaden Figueroa, number 3, is in motion. They give us to Figueroa. He's sweeping to the right, cuts back to the 50, bouncing his way up, and good defensive rally to the ball by the Hopeville Vikings.
No, that quickness, with the Hopeville Vikings blitzing right up the middle, Ron, you had the Hopeville Vikings. They covered some ground, not letting Figueroa get to the outside there.
Figueroa has speed, and they strung it out pretty well, and that's what you want your defense to do. Make that kid run sideways, not upfield.
And one of the things we're going to see, Ron, we're going to see a lot of rotating. Why? I'm not going to say that they're out of shape, but not everybody's in the 100% of shape right now.
It's not the regular condition these kids would be in had it been a regular season, the off-season weight training and conditioning. Back to punt is Figueroa. It's a decent snap. He punts it from the 40, has the wind behind him. Here's DeVoe at the 10. He's at the 15. Cuts to the 20, straight arm, and he's knocked down at the 25. Good coverage. Tackle made by number 4, Brawley, and number 10, that would be Gilbert Corrales, Tweedy on the tackle.
Also helping out is Jess Martinez, number 27 for the Wildcats. Now, Ron, from each team had a series right now on the offensive side of the play. Now, what are you seeing on team speed from both sides, Ron?
Right now, Brawley has the speed on the outside. It looks like they're going to try to get around, use their perimeter run game. And the deal is, what kind of hurt each team on that series was a bobbled ball. A bad snap for Brawley on the first, and here it is. Here's number... That's DeVoe. That's DeVoe.
Now, anyway, he's running behind number 75, which Turner was telling us. We don't have the height and the weight for the players, but Turner did tell us.
Roman Ordonez.
He was one of the players that got hurt in the first game season. And he hurt his hand, and he was out for the rest of the season. This guy comes in at 6'8", 300 pounds, and there's just a wall coming at the Wildcats from his side now.
Different set than the first series. Here is DeVoe. He's going to follow the lead block, and he's got some room. all the way up to the 45-yard line. So basically that was a lead play, an isolations play that back in the backfield led up the hole, and a good block, good play.
He had good. One of the leading blockers was number 75 on that, and that is the first down of the ball game.
First down of the game.
With 7:27 to go in the first quarter.
DeVoe's bouncing it out to the 50. Good little straight arm, and it looked like he might have buckled his knee on that play there. Brought down by number 37.
Brought down by 37 of the Wildcats, which is
Brody Enders.
That's Adam Salazar. Adam Salazar, number 37. No, is that incorrect?
Brody Enders, number 37. We have these rosters here that aren't the regular standard rosters.
Yeah. So, one of the last things they were worried about was I'm sure filling out all the rosters the correct way, but and that's on the Brawley side. So if we get some names wrong with the wrong number, we'll do our best to correct that as soon as we can.
So make that second down and 3.
And it looks like the Wildcats are all inside that
Eric
box,
Garcia,
Ronnie.
yeah, Eric Garcia, the quarterback, gives to Ramos up the middle, and that's a good little off-tackle play, and that's going to be a first down for the Vikings.
That's their second first down, and they're using Ramos a little bit more. Now, with the Wildcats concentrating on DeVoe, Ramos is actually picking up the slack and gaining some yardage against them, that Wildcat defense.
Well, the bad news for the Vikings is it looked like DeVoe's on the bench here, and they're checking his knee. I know he had problems with it a year ago. And on that last tackle that he carried the ball, looked like his knee was bent a little bit. So back in the quarterback, looks like it's Eric Garcia, number 1. The give is to Ramos. The give back to number 6, and that is Donovan Johnson. And Johnson with a good little reverse there.
Now, with DeVoe being out the last three plays.
You know what might help the Vikings? DeVoe, maybe that wasn't, having DeVoe back there at quarterback wasn't the traditional offense that Turner liked to run. So now with the quarterback in there, that is their traditional
traditional offense.
It's a different set now. You got a running back. It's no longer just a quarterback in an empty set. Now you have the running back next to him. That's Ramos. The quarterback is Eric Garcia. He's a transfer from the Central Spartan that gives back to Ramos. Ramos trying to find a place to run. He maybe gains a yard on there. Brawley swarmed on that. Number 24 is on the tackle there. That looks like Dawson. Self was on the stop.
Well, the Vikings, we know that the Vikings go wherever Jose DeVoe goes, but they're not missing too much of a beat there, Ron.
No, they're not. Ramos is a quick kid. Garcia, I'm not too much. Don't know too much about Garcia. He was on the Central Spartan roster last year. It's a tight set. The give is back to Ramos, and Ramos is finding a way. They are getting little creases, but they're shutting down very quickly.
Yeah, the Vikings have enough. The Vikings are gaining 3-4 yards past that line of scrimmage, and they are getting hit once they pass that. But, with 3-4 yards, they're making it tight to make it look. 4th and 1, they're in Wildcat territory. Ball's on the 32-yard line. We have 4:15 left in the first quarter of the Wildcats. In the Wildcats on the defensive side. Let's see what happens on this play.
4th and 1, and it's a snap directly to the up back. That's Jeremiah Higgins.
And then
he might have gotten the first down. It looks like from where they're spotting it.
Yes, it's going to be a first down.
It's a first down. So that was a direct snap to Jeremiah Higgins. Higgins took it up there, and I heard Higgins has the nickname Ironhead.
Okay, well, they used it right there because he was playing like in the H-back position, and that snap was not a direct snap, but it was a yard off the line of scrimmage, and the snap was to him, and he was good enough to get 2 yards for a first down.
So it's a tight set. Jeremiah Higgins is what we call a sniffer. The give is to Ramos. Ramos is up the right side, and there's another hole and another tackle by number 22. I'm not sure the 22 is for the Wildcats. So that's a first gain of 6. Gain of 6.
Christopher Hutchinson. And it's not Hutchinson. I think it's Hutchins. But the Wildcats are getting something that they're used to doing all the time themselves, Ronnie. Hopeville is controlling the football by running running the ball?
Well, it's the same play over again. Now he cuts it back to the right. The previous 2 times he was running to the right side. It was clogged up, so he cuts back to the left and gain of 2 yards. So we're looking at the Wildcats will be looking at a 3rd down and 4 with 2:50 remaining in the first quarter. It's a 0-0 ball game. Holtville is sustaining a drive right now, Will.
Yeah, and the thing is, as I watch down below, I have Jose DeVoe. He's putting his shoes back on. Now, I don't see a trainer near him, and I don't know the extent of his injury, but he's lacing them back up, so we'll see what happens with him.
Same formation. They have the sniffer. We'll call it a sniffer. That's Higgins. And it looks like we're going to have procedure on the left side of the Hopeville offensive line.
That's going to be on the left side of the Vikings. Yeah. And I'm surprised it hasn't happened more.
I was just about to say that, Will. I was thinking the same thing. That's the first actual penalty.
Where it was a mental mistake.
Exactly. The face mask, that was just a physical mistake. But mental, yes, sir.
Hey,
that's
listen,
what it is.
Listen, DeVoe's going back in. Hopeville Vikings, DeVoe is going back in. And listen, I've got to give credit to them Vikings, man. They didn't miss too much with him out. You know, even he's their bread and butter. Well, he's their bread and butter, Ron. So let's see what he can do back there in the backfield. Even though
Tyler Merton is the back, they're going to snap it to DeVoe. He's going to take it to the right. He spins his way up to maybe a gain of 1. It's going to be a 4th and long after that run.
It's going to be 4th and long for the Wildcats with 150, 149, 148, the clock running. And one of the things that the Hopeville Vikings want to do, they maybe want to be going the opposite direction right before half with the wind, Ron.
And another thing they may want to do is drain the clock, such as they're doing right now, running the ball. You haven't seen the ball in the air. You can't throw into the wind. They've been running. And here it is. It looks like a quarterback sweep to the left. He's got his way out to the 25. He's angling for the first down, and he may be right at the sticks.
You know, this is going to be an
He
interesting
may be right at the sticks.
With it being 4th down right there, I am going to see where Ron, I think
like
he might have it, Ron.
I think he may be short. He is short.
And that flank official was in perfect position to mark that ball exactly where it's at on the Brawley sideline. So it's going to be 1st down, white ball.
Looks like J.J. Jackson may be calling for a measurement.
Yeah, just to make sure right there where they.
Yeah, it looks like they bent the yardstick, as you can see.
Oh,
Will.
is that what?
I
see. Yes, I see what's going on. So that yard marker.
Yeah, and it's a 1st down. J.J. signals 1st down.
Ron, that's what Jose DeVoe can do for you. I did see the ball come out of his hands at the very end, and from we're on the opposite side of the field, but I'm glad to see those kind of things, Ron, where he goes back into the game and look, he's healthy. It didn't seem to bother him on that, Ron. I mean, congratulations on the Hopeville Vikings getting that 1st down. That was 4th and long.
Well, they have Ryder Merton is lined up in the backfield. Now, I'm not too sure whether Merton is the. They can snap it to you. It's snap to DeVoe. He's going to run to the right, straight arms, and he's brought down by number 23 of the Wildcats.
So, Ronnie, what you just mentioned right now, number 10 went inside the 2-hole, and then DeVoe read that was out. And then he bounced it out. But the only problem with that, Ron, is that too many Wildcats were on the outside waiting for him. Even though he has great speed, a lot of the Wildcats were out there. So he's just reading his blocks and then going from there.
Well, the trouble about bouncing it outside like that, you're leaving your blockers.
Yeah.
So he has nothing to help him with, and his speed, he does have speed, but the Wildcats have speed on defense, so they strung it out pretty well. You want a kid like that running sideways, not upfield on you. So here it is again. Merton in the backfield with DeVoe. The snap is to Higgins again.
And that seems to be getting good plays. And it doesn't matter that the Wildcats pushed them back. It's going to be good, to make it 3rd down, 3rd and 5. And that might be the last play of the first quarter with the score still 0. Brawley Wildcats 0. Hopeville Vikings. But with a 3rd down and 6, Ronnie, the Vikings are threatening to score against the Wildcats right here. And from Ron Rubio and Will Torres, we're going to take a little break on this first quarter, the end of the first quarter right now. Welcome back, everybody, to Burger Field at Hopeville, California, where we have the Hopeville Vikings driving down in Wildcat territory. Ball right now is being placed on about the 15, 16-yard line. And when we have a minute, there's a couple of thank yous I want to hand out. And this is coming from Murray Anderson. He'd like to give us a special thanks to George's Pizza, Caliber Screen Printing, and Cooper's West Insurance. Reason why? They've been big supporters of Hopeville girls basketball. And Ron, there's a little pep on the sidelines from these Hopeville Vikings, Ron. There's a little pep.
Very well ran, executed play there. It was Ramos on a reverse, coming back. An actual sweep, wasn't a reverse. And Ramos ran that ball very well. He shut down the outside. He cut it back. Brawley over pursued, and he was able to cut back for a first down. And now we're going to have a 1st and goal. Wildcats taking a timeout as the Vikings have ran the ball all the way up to the Brawley Wildcat 6-yard line. 1st and goal from the 6, Will.
I'd also like to thank Vesey Farms for bringing this game to you. They're one of our corporate sponsors, along with Frank's Graphics Graffiti in Brawley. So special thanks to them. Ron, one of the things that we don't see too often in some of the games we have covered before, the Wildcats had 0 first downs in that first quarter, Ron.
Well, I think they just had one series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we were talking about now the Hopeville Vikings, and during most of that drive, for about 40 yards in that drive, they didn't have Jose. So you're looking at a very solid Hopeville team.
If Hopeville can get this ball in right now, that would be the best start Turner could hope for. And they give us to Merton. Merton.
Did you see a little miscommunication on there,
No,
Ron?
that was just Chandler Self looked like he was slanting. He timed that snap perfectly. He was able to come off the edge and clip Merton on the legs. Great play by Chandler Self, 41 on the tackle. Little or no gain on that run. And Brawley, no doubt, is in a goal line defense, and that's what you do on goal line. You have to take away the gaps, and you take away the edge. Brawley is in a goal line defense. The give is to DeVoe. DeVoe's taking it up the middle, and he's in. He is in for the first touchdown of the 2020/2021 season. DeVoe on a very well orchestrated drive by the Hopeville Vikings. Touchdown, Hopeville.
Now, we can't see who is down right now.
I hope it's not DeVoe, and it might be because, boy, he took a chop right at the knees.
On that play, we did have a touchdown. Is that correct, Ron? We did
That
have a touchdown.
is a touchdown. That is a touchdown. 6-0 with 11:17 remaining in the second play of the second quarter.
We still can't see a number, and I don't want to speculate who it is. But, Ron, let's talk about the Hopeville Vikings offense right now. One of the things that they just proved down here in front of us, they can get that ball and they can drive the ball 60 to 70 yards against a top-notch Brawley Wildcat team, Ron.
Well, that's what they did on that drive. The drive started towards the tail end of the first quarter. They were able to hold on to the ball. And as I said, running the ball, you're going to milk the clock. The clock's going to run down. And that's the kind of game Hopeville wants to play. Slow the game down. Keep the ball out of Ethan Gutierrez's hands and the Brawley Wildcat offense. So what they did, they just drove the ball down, and they took time off. They were getting 2-3 yards a pop, mixed in with a good run of over 5 yards here and there.
Yeah.
And it was DeVoe. It was DeVoe. And that leg is gone, man. They're carrying him off, and it's a sad thing to see. The kid, a senior, sad to see that happen, man. He scored a touchdown, and he's coming off.
Well, one of the things, Ron, not only is he the physical leader of this Hopeville Viking football team, he's also the emotional leader on here.
He's the heart of the team, man, and it's sad to see him being carried off in this manner. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. It looks like they didn't want to have him put any weight on it.
No, the thing is, Ron, they did go 30, 40 yards when he was out of the game for the first injury. And here we go with the Hopeville Vikings down with the PAT.
Set to kick is number 40 for Mon Velarde, and it's blocked. Blocked by the Wildcats and recovered by the Wildcats. So
that's one of the things you did say to start the game, that special teams was one of the issues on your football team that we're probably going to get the less practice. Am I correct, Ron?
Yeah, you're working on defense, you're working on offense, and your special teams do get a little bit of attention, but maybe not enough for the first ball game.
So key for the Hopeville Vikings is going to be defense needs to hold.
Yes, they do.
They need to hold these Wildcats. Now, The good thing, there's a couple of good things. I mean, if you take that injury away, he's Jose DeVoe's right in front of us. They're looking at his leg. He's not. I can't say what kind of type of pain he's in, but the Hopeville Vikings will be going with the wind. The Wildcats will have the wind in their face. Now, will that affect the passing game of number 13, Ethan Gutierrez, Ron?
Well, it could. You know, what that might do is just maybe limit them to the short passing game. Nothing down deep, nothing deep. You don't want to go deep in the air. You want to put air underneath the ball when you're going long. So look for passes from the 0 to 15 range.
And the defense should be well rested against these Wildcats.
Well, they've rested. And here's a pretty effective kick. It's on the ground and it's good field position. I'm not sure if that was an intentional kick, Will.
Ron, I don't know. They had the wind on their back. You know, could they have kicked? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see if they get a chance to kick off again if they do the same thing. Because, you're by giving the Wildcats that much territory, that's not always a good thing. But then again, they're going to have to punt to the wind, Ron.
That's right. Ball's at the 34-yard line. Very good field position to start a drive. Let's see what the Wildcats have in them. They're going to be under center. Gutierrez is under center. Isaiah Young is the back. We have two receivers. Actually, it's a trip set because we have two receivers to the right. They give us to Young. It's a keep by Gutierrez. Gutierrez to the 40, 45, 50, 40. Cuts back to the 30. And is brought down at the 25, option to the left. That was an option play. You fake the ball to your back. They bid on it. He had a pitch guy, took the ball and ran it up. And that's where he can hurt you is with his feet as well.
Well, the thing is we saw last year, Ron, his hand motion, he's so deceptive back there. I mean, he's really good at doing that. That's one of the key things that he has playing that quarterback position. He's very deceptive on the handing off and keeping that ball.
That was the first option play of the night by the Wildcats, and that worked very well.
And
the
just
thing
like
is,
that.
the thing is, the kid can read. That's the thing about option. You have three options. Either you're going to give it, keep it, or pitch it. Here's a motion by Figueroa. He goes back. That's called yo-yo motion. The pitch to Young. Young's bouncing out straight arm, and he's going to be brought down. Oh, wow. Might be a horse collar and something else. Who knows? Brought down by number 5, Ramos of the Vikings.
I really like right now the way Merton is playing the linebacker position for the Hopeville Vikings. He's going sideline to sideline, Ron. Now, he was in the middle when Austin took off on that long run, but watching him right now, I'm keying on him. That's a stud right there. Number 10, that's just one of those stud players that Coach Turner has mentioned that he has on this squad.
Well, man, if you're listed at 6'3", 210, that's a linebacker for you.
Yeah.
6'3", 210, the kid could move sideways very well. He'll come up. He'll stop the run. Pretty sure he could defend the pass very well.
So what we had there was offsetting penalties. So
the play stands.
The play stands as it is right there.
Or no?
No, they replay it. They replay it because it was offsetting penalties.
And also he had lost a yard on that. So the play was very well defended. Here we go again. Gutierrez, we have not seen the Wildcats in their spread formation. This is their wing. We have two. We have motion. That is the give us to Young off tackle to the left.
Then look who's making that tackle.
That's
Number
Merton.
10. That guy, he's not only is he physically on the linebacker position, it looks like he's got a great head on his shoulders playing that position, reading key plays for the Hopeville Vikings, Ron.
Looks like Merton reads very well. What you want to do as a linebacker, you're reading that guard in front of you. If that guy blocks down, you know it's a run. He's going to come up. His reaction time is very well. There's a very big kid out there for the Vikings, number 75. I believe that's
the one that broke
That's
his
Roman
wrist.
Ordonez.
Yeah.
So Roman Ordonez is on the defensive line.
This is the first time going on a defense. He didn't start the series in the first
The
part.
pitch to Young to the left. Lung is looking for a hole. He bounces it right, cuts back, and it's stopped. And he may have fumbled the ball. It was a fumble by the Wildcats.
I think they're going to give him forward motion on that and mark it where the forward progress was at.
Looks
right?
like I see the flank with the raised hand. So
and that's what they're doing. So the ball came loose after the forward forward motion was going forward.
Ball at the 20, 8:47 remaining in the second quarter, 6-0 Vikings. Brawley's knocking at the door. They're at the 20-yard line. This drive was set up by the great run by Gutierrez.
Hey, Ron, I don't mean to interrupt you right now, but we do see DeVoe putting on tape, walking on this thing, and it looks like, I don't know, but this is the caliber of kid that unless it's
Wow.
really bad, he's not going to play. But I know that kid wants to be in this game right now. So, but there's no sense further injuring anything, Ron.
Well, an ankle, if you're a running back, an ankle, that's your.
Yeah.
If you got a bad will like that, man, you can't cut on it. You can't put pressure on it to cut back. So we'll see what they decide to him. There was an offsides by Merton to give us to Young. Young off the left side of the Brawley Wildcat offense. He maybe gets 2 yards on it. Looks like the Wildcats will be facing a 4th and 1. They're on the left hash. No, they're going to give him a first down.
They gave him a first down. You're correct on that, Ron.
It's a first down for the Wildcats. It looks like they're at the 13-yard line.
Ron, right tackle for the Hopeville Vikings, is that 81 or 91?
I'm not too sure with the lights and the reflection on that.
I can tell you what it is. I think it's 81, and that's going to be Joe Gomez. He's he made the tackle. It was just a little bit short. I mean, not short. It was short for him, but the Wildcats did make a first down on that.
Tanner Carranza in the backfield. That's number 42 for the Wildcats. Along with Cameron Gutierrez. In motion is Figueroa. It's a little RPO swing pass to Figueroa. He's at the 10. Bounces it up. Maybe knocked out at the 4-yard line. Make that the. Let's see where he's spotting him, Will. Wow.
They gave him very good. Okay.
They took it back to the 8-yard line.
Yeah, the 8-yard line. It looked like he had gained a little bit more yard because the back official I thought he was marking the ball down there. But he was taken out by Hopeville Vikings cornerback number 31 in his cornerback position.
RPO means run, pass, option. The quarterback has the option of either running it or passing it and even optioning it to a pitch back. Oh, here we go.
That's Isidro Garcia, 21. Excuse me, not 31, 21.
Motion is Cameron Gutierrez, slow motion. Now we have, and here's the pitch to Figueroa. Figueroa catches the pitch. He's up to the 5-yard line. What do you think that could be, Will?
Well,
it might have been 2-man in motion, maybe.
I don't know if it was. It's either illegal motion or illegal man downfield where a man was covered, Ron. So let's see what Mr. J.J. Jackson has for us. Illegal shift against the Wildcats. Now, so that's going to make it about second and about 9. Now, this is an important drive for the Wildcats, Ron. This is very important. Now, I don't know the situation with Jose, what's going to happen. I know he's in front of us. They're talking to him and then evaluating that situation. But if the Hopeville Vikings can stop the Wildcats, Ron, you know, they're going to get a little bit of momentum on their side.
Momentum for sure. You get a goal line stand, basically, because they're at the 10-yard, 12-yard line. Gutierrez under center. They give us to Tanner Carranza. Carranza is going to be brought down at the 12-yard line. So what I'm seeing here is penetration through the offensive line of the Wildcats. So the D-line and the backers are playing the run game very well. And on that play was Jonathan Heraz, number 4.
And this is exactly what Hopeville wanted to do. They wanted to get in this heavyweight matchup tonight and go toe-to-toe with the Brawley Wildcats, Ron.
Very similar to what they did and how they played the Imperial Tigers last year in the first quarter.
Yeah, but in this one, they've executed
their
plays.
They've actually scored. They've scored.
Yeah. So, you know, it's up to the Hopeville Viking defense right here with it being 3rd down, 3rd and 9 with 6:16 left to go in the half.
The good thing for the Wildcats, they still can get a first down at the 2-yard line. Under center Gutierrez. Isaiah Young is back. It's a fake to Young. He throws. It's a flat. It was tapped in the air, knocked up, and Young was able to catch a deflection.
For a loss of down on that.
Loss of down. You know, you might have said, man, why did he catch it? Hey, it's just natural instinct to want to get it. It's up in the air, and better him catch it than a Holtville defender.
Yeah. But, okay, you're looking at 4th and 15, 4th and 16, Ron. Looks like the Wildcats are going to go for
You're
it
not
right
going to kick. You're not going to kick a field goal in this wind. I'll tell you that.
So, Coach Turner's defense is doing what they've been practicing to do, and he's being led by the defensive tackle number 75, putting in a lot of work on their Roman Ordonez. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they know that their offense, they have the power on the offense to do it, and the defense has to do their part, Ron.
Gutierrez under center again. The fake to, he's rolling to his left. He's looking for a receiver. He stops. He said he throws. It's incomplete.
And
pass was intended for Cameron Gutierrez, right off his hands. Looked like it went right through his hands.
it went, but he was still going to be short, and he was covered on that, Ron.
Well, it's fourth down.
It's going to be Viking ball, Ron.
That was fourth down. First down for the Vikings. I bet you defense coordinator Albert Valenzuela, the defense played well. They tightened up. They stopped the Wildcats and will take the ball at the 19-yard line.
This is exactly where Turner wants to be, and he knew it was going to be a dogfight. He knew that this is the type of ball game they were going to be in. But with 5:04 left in the first half, we have a timeout called by
the Vikings.
Is that correct? We got the Vikings on that. And VSN, Ron Rubio and I will come back after this short break. Not before I say a special thanks to our camera person, Sarah Torres, our guy, our main man that actually, without none of this happens, without Joaquin Matus. A special thanks to him. We have a new system set up. I'm very happy with it. You know, he's what actually makes VSN go, to be honest with you people. You guys haven't seen him. He's low-key, but he is what makes VSN go. And we'd like to do a shout-out to Jalen Fong. He's down there covering the Southwest Vincent Memorial game, and he'll have highlights as well. Jonathan Butler will have highlights of this game, and Jalen Fong will have the highlights of the Vincent Memorial
Southwest.
So, well, looks like the timeout's over and we're ready to go on this.
First and 10 for the Vikings. After outside the 20, right outside the 20-yard line. Now it's 5:04 remaining in the second quarter, Will, and this is kind of reminiscent. In basketball, there used to be the North Carolina Tar Heels. They used to run a four-corner stall. That means they would just pass the ball around, and if they were playing an opponent stronger than them, well, they can't score. If they don't have the ball, they give us to Ramos. Ramos finds a way. He finds a hole, and he's driving his way up to the 28-yard line. So there's a crease. There's a hole, cut back. Good gain of 8 yards.
Well, Ron, that's what's going to happen when you get the momentum on your side, Ron. You've been there plenty of times. In fact, we've been on both sides of the field. You probably more than I, where what the heck, you know, when you get that momentum, you actually have to do something to stop that other team because momentum is key, Ron.
Well, right now that's a very big play. It gets him kind of out of a hole. They're still not out of the hole, but, hey, anybody will take 9 yards a pop, tell you that right now. Quarterback is Eric Garcia. They give us to Ramos again. Ramos off to the right, trying to find a hole to run into. It was there. Now it's shut down, brought down by a swarm of Wildcats. Maybe gained a half yard. I'm looking at the spot by the flank. He will be short.
So we got
no. It's a first down. Randy Arguelles is signaling that it's a first.
Is that Randy on the?
Randy's down here on the side over here.
You know, Randy is one of my favorite referees in the association. I had a lot of years working with him. He's one of my favorite guys. I really respect him. I just think he's done an excellent job, man. Not only that, he also does basketball, and he's just one of the good guys all around.
Well,
man.
You know what, man? Hats off to all these officials. They do it. They perform a noble service that not everybody likes to do. They give us to Ramos again, the same play, running it right off to the right side. They like running off the right side, and I believe 75 is on that side. I'd like to run. I myself would love to run behind Roman Ordonez.
You know, you got Eric Garcia back there in the quarterback position, handing off the ball. Somebody's calling some good plays. Somebody up here is relaying him to Turner to Garcia. Somebody's doing their job pretty well right now, Ron.
Well, like I said, I bet you Turner had two packages. He had the DeVoe package, and then he had his traditional offense, which is an offense he ran last year. He's back in shotgun. And Garcia, I'm pretty sure, is the kid that played JV last year for El Centro. And here's a little fade. A fade to Ramos. Wide open. But there's a penalty. Ramos cuts back makes his way all the way up to the Wildcat 34-yard line. Back just through a flag, Will.
No, you also had the flank official right at the snap of the ball. So what you might have is a man being covered, and it might have to come back on the Hopeville Vikings. They might have had a man covered. I'm curious to see what they have.
The flank threw a flag. There's a flag on the sideline, and then the back judge threw one.
But if they don't confirm with Randy on this side, I'm questioning what's happening over here. So because, I mean,
Could it have been a pick? I'm not too sure. Well, we'll see. J.J. Jackson is conferring with John Sell.
He wants to know what he wants to do with
that.
It
Looks like it's coming back. It's coming back. So let's see what happened here.
Early motion against
now, I didn't see it,
Illegal
Ron.
shift.
Yeah.
Pass interference. Looks like with 2 penalties.
We have 2 separate penalties, and they're going to take
the pass interference.
Yeah, because they actually lose it down on the offensive pass interference. So those were 2 separate penalties on 2 separate players down there. So that's why he was conferring with John Self over there which one he wanted to take.
2nd down and 11. Ball's at the 29-yard line of the give is back. And here's that little reverse, and that's back to who's the ball carrier there?
Quarterback, keeper, number 6 on the carry.
Donovan Johnson. So they give to Ramos, and Ramos actually hands the ball off to the wing, coming back for a reverse. And timeout for Turner and the Hopeville Vikings.
Now, Donovan Johnson, if I know the Hopeville people here know that name, and when you say Johnson, I mean, that's CJ's boy. And why we're talking about CJ, I would like to give a special thanks to CJ. He really bent over backwards to really help VSN set everything up down here. And without him, I mean, with 2:35 left in the half, he's bent over backwards. He's a guy that he wears many hats. And I know that the people in Hopeville know everything that he does. But, I mean, I witnessed this these last couple of weeks, and I also did it. We had the pleasure of doing the wrestling tournament here, the Rotary Wrestling Tournament, which is it's a kick butt tournament. And CJ, he had time to help us out to broadcast that, and we look forward to doing it again. So special shout-out to CJ and everybody else that really helped us put all together. And Bobby, their IT guy. Excuse me. You know, I'm getting choked back because we actually have a special guest up here in the booth. I mean, the man's man. I'll introduce him a little bit later, but with 2:35 to go in the half, the Vikings take the field. They have 1 timeout left. The Brawley Wildcats have 2 left, and let's see what they can do.
3rd down and 10. Garcia with the fade to number 4, and that's going to work. Cuts back makes his way up to the 40-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Vikings. Now, real quick thing on Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia my memory has been refreshed. He was a safety for the Central Spartans last year.
So now with the Hopeville Vikings with 2 timeouts left, you know, the ball's being spotted on the 40-yard line. They have 2:25 to go. And the important thing that I keep talking about is they have momentum on their side. So the Hopeville Vikings are doing what they're supposed to do against these Brawley Wildcats.
2:12 remaining in the 2nd quarter. The clock is ticking. Garcia in shotgun formation. No, it's not. It's a short snap to number 22, Jeremiah Higgins. And that little short direct snap to the snipper is working. It's a quick.
He might end up the leading rusher for tonight. He keeps doing what he's doing. He's getting 5 to 7 yards every play, Ron, right up the middle.
It's a quick hitter because the snap's not long. The usual 6 yards. It's just going to go 2 yards, if that. And if he could get a hole, the kid's he's a big block. Looks like a little refrigerator running around there. So a gain of 7 yards. You got a 2nd down and 3 left hash. Garcia is the quarterback, same formation. The give now to Ramos off the right. He finds a hole up the middle. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's gone. 20, 10, touchdown, Ramos.
Ron,
and
we might have less than 50 people in the stands, but let me tell you, they're yelling just as much as if this was packed. This is one of those games that, let me tell you, there's one side just yelling, and we're looking at the Brawley Wildcats, and it's kind of quiet. Are they in shock, Ronnie? Is that what's going on?
I heard some crickets over there. That's what I heard.
You know, you've got the Hopeville Vikings now.
Well, the Vikings have, and rightly so. They have a 12-0 lead. Nobody would have thought this. If you would have said 12-0 with 1:20 remaining, everybody would have said, oh, the Wildcats are out 12-0. No, it's not. It's the Hopeville Vikings. They came to play. And, you know, they're good play calling, Will. Just good play calling.
Exactly.
They're taking what's being given to them, you know.
Without their number 1 player, Ron, Jose DeVoe. And one of the other things, Ron, they're keeping it simple. So by
keeping it simple, there's nothing fancy, man.
No,
There's nothing. There's nothing we haven't seen. There's nothing Coach Self hasn't seen. It's just straight ahead football. The blocks are there. The kid's picking it. Ramos a good little runner, man. He's weaving his way. If the hole's not there, you know, the play's design, it looks like it's the same play off the right tackle. You have that big kid 75 over there. You're trying to run behind him. Hey, if it's not there, they shut it down with a slant. He's going to cut off it. You know, so good play calling and good execution of the play. To the Wild, I don't know who called a timeout there, but
Hopeville called the timeout now, and that leaves them with one timeout. That leaves the Hopeville Vikings with one timeout and the Brawley Wildcats with one timeout. Now, we do have the score up, but we do not have the time. So there is 1:20 left till the half. And the Wildcats will get the ball back to start the second half, Ronnie.
they will get the ball back, and they will be heading into the wind, I believe, won't
Well,
they?
it'll be the Hopeville's choice now.
Oh, that's correct. That's
one of
right.
the-
That's right.
That's going to be one of the things that they get to pick, and I'm sure that they're thinking about that.
So here's Eric Garcia. He's rolling to his right. He sees a man. He's open, and he's in.
He's in for the
He
two-point
is
conversion.
in, and that was number 8, C.J. Nunez. C.J. Nunez. So here we go. The kid hit Garcia. Nice pass. 2-point conversion. Now, with 1:15 remaining in the second quarter, Hopeville Vikings 14, Brawley Wildcat 0.
Ron,
Yes.
the Wildcats have been in this position before. They are not pushing the panic button yet.
Oh,
That's
no.
not-
There's a ton
know.
of time. There's a ton of time.
One of the things that now with 1:20 left in the first half, the one thing that the Vikings do have to do, I don't know if I'm very curious to see if it's going to be another a line drive kick or is it going to be deep. So with 1:20 to go, what are the Wildcats going to do? I mean, they got to go into the halftime with a little bit to stop that momentum that the Hopeville Vikings have.
Well, right now, Wildcats will not be in panic mode. They're going to try to get what they can with the minute 20 left. But it all depends. Let's see. And the number one thing that's going to determine what they will do with the play calling, where they're going to be at the end of this kickoff. It's a decent kick. It's to self. It's bouncing around. It looks like that is
Number 4.
Cam
for the
Gutierrez.
Wildcats.
Gutierrez to the left. He's find a little wall there. And
Oh.
it bounced out. It popped out and recovered by the Vikings. So upon him, that is Ramos again. Johnny on the spot, man. Johnny on the spot. Abraham Ramos.
Look, one thing you're seeing right now, the Vikings had to travel 40 yards from the opposite side of the field. They are running off the field, and that team, the offense is running on. And you're seeing the Wildcats walk right now. Now, they got that bounce, and it doesn't matter what shape they're in, Ron. Doesn't matter right now. They're running on adrenaline right now, Ron.
What matters is they have the ball at the 25-yard line. It's the right hash. Garcia is the quarterback. 1:20 remaining, 1:09 remaining, no timeouts left. So whatever they do, if they run the ball, they better get back on that ball again.
One timeout apiece, Ron. There's one timeout left. But now the Wildcats seem to have called that timeout. So the Wildcats are out of timeouts. And while I got a minute, once again, I'd like to give special thanks to Vesey Farms. Without them, they're bringing us this broadcast, been a loyal sponsor since we started a couple years ago, and also Frank's Graphic Graffitis in Brawley. Very happy to have him. He during this pandemic, VSN decided not to ask for sponsorships now. Ironically, we've had some people wanting to donate just to keep VSN going, and we really appreciate that. But this is COVID year, and we understand everybody's situation. So, and we thank everybody for people that have stepped up. But with that said, we're happy to be here. We're glad to be here. And once again, we will have pictures and score updates from Vincent Memorial Southwest game. And at halftime, man, we're going to have the legend. The legend has started out in Brawley.
He has arrived. He has arrived.
He has arrived.
He's our
man.
hero, our mentor.
I-
One of our favorite coaches, man.
He's top 3
oh my
best
God.
Imperial coach in Imperial Valley.
Here we go. The snap is to Garcia. Garcia's looking. He's going to throw it down the sideline. He's looking for his big man. Touchdown!
Oh!
Touchdown number 4. Jonathan Herazen. Boy, we have a 20-0 lead. It was coming, man. It was coming. It looked like Daniel Camilo was on the coverage. That number 4 is I'm not too sure. I didn't get his measurement, but I think he's at least 6'4".
Nah, he's-
Jonathan Hurd, 6'6". That's what Jason told us last night. He's a 6'6" receiver. The kid can play. The kid is up there. He just tossed it up there, man. It was a jump ball.
Yeah, and
He sure did, Coach. And Coach Cato said it. He had his body in the right place. Posting up, just like you do in basketball. You got a big center. You're just going to give it up there. Hey, lob it up. Let him do all the work. Let that height do all the work. So now we're looking at a 20-0 lead for the Vikings. 1:02 remaining. And that only took 18 seconds, Will.
yeah, that fumble on that kickoff in the Wildcats was a big turnover.
They're going for two. Garcia's back. And they give us to Ramos. And Ramos is going to find his way. No, he's not. He had it. Brawley was in a goal line, and he stopped.
So, Ron,
Yes, sir.
on the kickoffs, when the Vikings are kicking off, the ball has been kicked short. Do you think there might be an issue on the PAT too? That's why they're not going for
Maybe the deep snapper and you know there's not much of a good
communication between
not
them
not
two?
a communication, but the mesh isn't there yet. The chemistry's not yet.
And that's one of
there,
those things.
you know.
The special teams was one of the ones that get hurt the most when we have such a short period to get ready.
20-0. You have a 20-point lead. You have your star player on the bench with the ice pack around his ankle. You would not think you would be ahead 20-0 under these circumstances. 55 seconds remaining. And kicking the ball for Hopeville is
They're
number
going to
40.
change. There it is, the 1:02. There's 1:02 left in the half. The Brawley Wildcats have 0 timeouts. The Hopeville Vikings have 1 timeout. Once again, here we go. Let's see what these Vikings can do against these Brawley Wildcats. I mean, it's been done before. The Wildcats with less than a minute to go when they get the ball.
Furman Velarde with the great kick, and that's Daniel Camilo. Camilo looks like it's a return left. He's looking for the wall. He's at the 20, and he works his way up to the 27, holds on to the ball, so it's a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. 54 seconds remaining. They'll start their drive at, I'm going to say the yard
26
line. 26-yard line.
Tell me a little bit about Camilo. He's one of those kids. He's one of the underclassmen. He's a sophomore right here.
Sophomore.
Tall, lanky, and fast. Is that correct, Ron?
Tall, lanky, athletic, good kid, super smart kid, can play
Wrestler.
corner.
He's so just by him being a wrestler, that tells me a lot about him right there, Ron.
I'm not sure about the wrestling career, but I do know he's a very good track star and a very good football player. A lot of good things happening for Danny Camilo. So here we go. We have doubles on both sides. That's 2 receivers to the top and to the left. And Gutierrez is looking lots of time. He's going to roll. There's nothing there. He's going to tuck it under and try to get whatever he can. Gets knocked out at about the 32-yard line.
Clock stopping at 43 seconds.
43
Second
seconds.
down. And it looks like the ball's going to be spotted with about 5 yards to go for a first down, Ron.
2nd down and 5.
On the 32, 31-yard line, in between those 2-yard markers.
Well, it's a shocker, to say the least. Vikings 20, Wildcat 0, 43 seconds remaining. 2nd down and 5. We both say a long 4. Shotgun formation. He has 2 receivers on both sides. He's looking. He has protection. He has a lot, and he's going to throw a fade. It's Isaiah Young, and it's a caught at the 30 all the way. That pass was complete at the 40s. Young gets a good 12 yards, and down is Ramos. They cannot afford to lose Ramos. May have got his air knocked out.
It looks like he got the air knocked out of him.
The way he landed may have knocked the air out of his.
But that's what the Wildcats look. And Gutierrez threw that ball into the wind.
Into the wind. It was there. It was a swing pass to the back. Nice executed play. 33 seconds left on the clock. No timeouts for the Wildcats. Is that correct?
No timeouts left.
No
for the Wildcats.
timeouts. So what do you do?
27, 26 seconds down.
You're at the 26-yard line. Shotgun formation. Looks like we're going to have
We're going to have a timeout.
For who? Hopeville? So the ball's at the 26. 23 seconds remaining. Brawley has to come away with something right here.
Yes.
At 6 points, because the wind, I doubt we're going to get. They could get a field goal into that wind.
And right now, I don't think they're in the field goal mindset, Ron. You know, I think he's self goes, look, we need a touchdown going into halftime. We need to show ourselves. We need to show these Hopeville Vikings that we can score. With as long as we still have some seconds up on the clock, they need to prove to the Vikings and their fans here that they're probable of scoring.
Well, it's just like you said, reminiscent of last year's game with the Imperial Tigers, except for the fact they were scoring today, and last year they weren't scoring.
That's what a senior class will do, Ron. That's what a senior top-heavy senior class will do.
Sophomore quarterback is Ethan Gutierrez. Gutierrez with the nice pass completed to Isaiah Young. Well-ran play. It was executed well.
There was no wind issue with that, and the wind is blowing.
You know what? He put the ball where he had to. The kid almost had good coverage.
Yeah.
It just had to. He just laid it in there. So here we go. We have trips to the left. Looks like trips to the left. No, it's not. It's going to be doubles on both sides. Tanner Carranza is the lone setback next to Gutierrez. The ball's on the right hash. Brian Porras is the center. High snap. He's looking. He's coming up. He has nobody. He's going to bounce it to the 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, maybe at the 4. So it looks like that was cover one, Coach Gato. And when you're in man coverage, you're taking care of that man. You're not looking at that quarterback. So everybody's got their eyes peeled on the receiver. They didn't see him coming. And it looks like Ramos again probably got a kick to the stomach or something.
Could he be? I mean, we could also got to consider
cramps.
Yeah, we could also got to consider cramps right now. I mean, he's hurt, and I don't know what the extent of is. But you got the Wildcats right now. After that kickoff, Ron, they've driven 60-plus yards on that, almost 70 yards.
5-yard line, first and goal. No, is it second and first and goal at the 5.
13 seconds to go. No timeouts left for the Wildcats.
Oh, looks like there might be something. A pitch.
Makes a cut back inside.
Figueroa bounces his way back, and he gets in. He gets in. I don't know if that was a design play. I mean, it looked like maybe he went too far in his motion. Either way, the Wildcats will take it. That's the first 6 points of the 2020 season.
So the Wildcats with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go and 65-plus yards to drive.
Later.
Yeah, score a touchdown with
4
seconds left
right,
on the clock. So I do not know if that's going to be enough to stop that momentum, but they do get the ball starting off in the second half, Ron.
Well, I'll tell you what it does. And there's Jorge Hotto, and look, did Jorge Hotto knock it in? He sure did. So it's 20-7. Jorge Hotto makes it a 20-7 ball game. And, hey, this is what the doctor ordered for the Wildcats. They needed this touchdown. You don't want to go in at halftime trailing 20-0 and feel the wrath of Coach John Self.
Well, one of the things I got to say, we got ourselves a ball game here, Ron.
Well, 20-7, Wildcats will have the ball. They will have the ball.
And I'm sure there's people out there that didn't expect this type of score. We are witnessing something. Like I said before, the Vikings knew what they had, Ron.
Everybody kind of has a inkling of what they could do. First game jitters. You're going to get the bugs out. You know, you start thinking about what you were worried about in practice. Is it happening to me? The things I was worried about, are those issues coming up in the ball game? Like I said, man, everybody, they came to play. You know, both teams are playing their football.
I was expecting a little bit sloppier game. It's not a sloppy game. The referees are playing. The referees are doing their job. The players are doing their job. Very few mistakes out there, Ron. I think it's being a good ball control game right here, you know.
So 20-7, 4 seconds left. Hotto will kick it away. Deep to return for the Vikings. Number 1, Eric Garcia is one of the deep man back there. They're set to go. Will this play run the clock out, Will? 4 seconds if they touch it.
I think right now the Vikings may want to do that. I think the Vikings, you know, if they can get that long run, fine, but I think they might.
Oh, here he comes. He may have a wall. They're stringing it out, and that's number 17 tackled.
And with the time running out for the halftime, you have the Brawley Wildcats 7, the Hopeville Vikings 20. Now,
Robert Platt on that tackle. Just let me say that.
Whoa, that's
grandson
a true freshman right there.
True freshman
of a legend. Grandson
of Jay Platt. So hats off to the Platt family. Way to go, Robert. With that being said, at the end of 2 quarters of play, the Hopeville Vikings 20, Brawley Wildcats 7. Will, take it away.
And we'll be right back after a little break.
A big break.
With our special guest right now. Welcome back, everybody, for a halftime interview here. We have a special guest. He's actually a native of Hopeville now. You know, I think he lives in a castle or something over here. But Coach Cato is definitely one of my favorites, and he's one of Ron's favorites. And he's got a long history at Brawley, Imperial, and then he came over to Hopeville. I'd like to introduce everybody at this VSN broadcast on a fabulous, great game with the score 20-7 with the Wildcats losing right now, but they do get the ball back at the halftime. Coach Cato, how you doing?
Oh, I'm interested being here to watch football going on, and it's been a long time since we've been able to watch a football game. I'm just in awe of what Hopeville's doing at this point, and I love being on the grounds. I like being outside. I know it's a little cold right now, but it's good. The momentum just went to the Brawley side at the very end by scoring that touchdown, but you still got to make up some points.
Yeah, that's I mean, we're witnessing something that, you know, the last time they played, Coach, was in the early 2000s, and Coach Sturgeon was the coach at Hopeville here, and at the time Bishop was defensive coordinator. I'm sorry, John Self was defensive coordinator for the Wildcats, and the score was far-fetched. But there was a time that they met prior to that, and that's when Self was actually at Hopeville coaching for the Calapat Hornets, and Coach Self, being the defensive coordinator for the Calapat Hornets, they played up there, and Turner being the player over there. So they've met before, and before that was, you know, in the 1950s, Coach. So
yeah, I saw that game in the 50s. It was Joe Marini was a freshman running back, kind of like DeVoy is, but he was getting beat up that night. That was 1960 because I was a freshman in high school. And Joe Marini's still around, so he's a legend around here.
What was the score on that game, Coach?
I can't tell you. It was a lot to a little. How about that?
So this might be a first for the Hopeville Vikings here, right?
Yes, definitely.
On a side note, Coach, I just want to say congratulations. You know, Coach, I don't, you know, you read everything with this COVID deal changes from one week to another. You know, some people are not allowing cheerleaders. Some people are allowing cheerleaders. I'm glad to see that here at Hopeville, the cheerleaders, maybe they're not here during the game, Coach, but they did get to do
a routine
at halftime. So I'm very happy to hear that, and congratulations to the Hopeville cheerleaders. You know, it's proud to get them. I mean, they are part of the game, and a big part of the game. I've always, you know, they make a little bit of noise and make you feel like a little bit of normal, you know. And
it'd be nice to hear a band play.
Well, I think the only thing that he didn't have Hopeville didn't have is they weren't quite ready for that, because with the numbers, you know, were we going to go to the red tier? I mean, look, just to keep up with the tiers is hard enough, you know. We're just fortunate we're playing football right now, Coach.
Right, little.
So, Coach, I'm sorry. Let's change it around a little bit. I mean, your history here at Imperial Valley is, you know, Coach, trust me, you are what every coach here in Imperial Valley hopes to be and accomplish all the things that you have done. So, you know, with that said, Coach, what is going on with you and your children and grandkids? Talk to me about that.
Well, I've got 7 grandkids in Brawley, so they're all coming that way. I'm glad they're there. It's a good school system. All my little ones go to Magnolia School out in the country, which is good. And my daughters, they went to Hopeville High School. My oldest daughter, Carrie, went to Imperial High School. And when I got out of the service, came back from Vietnam, I did student teaching in Imperial, and I started coaching under John Tyree. So I was there 4 years, and Coach Tyree went to Fontana and numerous other schools, but he was a good man. And then I went to Brawley, and I was with Coach Lowe for about 6 or 7 years, and he retired, and I got the head job at Brawley, and I was very proud because I was a Brawley Wildcat through and through. I bled blue and gold.
No, I was fortunate, Coach, to play under Coach Lowe, and you were assistant coach, and damn, Coach, you know, you look. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Coach Cato, he looks freaking good right now. You know, he's slimmed down. He's always been that man's man. So you know, a lot of respect for him. But he ended up. I left, and then he became head coach at the Brawley Wildcats, and then so a lot of other things after that. You went to Imperial after that, right, Coach?
Right. I did 25 years at Brawley, and then I was a VP, and I went to Imperial. I thought it was time for a change, being an administrator. All I did
softball. You did softball.
Oh yeah.
You did softball, Coach. So it wasn't
About
just limited.
10 years.
Yeah.
I coached basketball. I didn't know how to do anything else. I love coaching. I love being around kids. On Facebook, I see other people who have done quite well that I'm very proud of. I have one right now. There's a Stephen Parker, the class of '79. He became a lawyer after high school. He went to Georgia, and he's now the political director for John Ossoff, the senator for the state of Georgia.
Oh, so he's a popular guy. Everybody knows his name,
right.
then, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, you know, when you look on Facebook and you see what kids have done with their lives.
Listen, I don't care if it's Pop Warner. I think the ultimate thing is, you know, when I call you Coach, you know, I mean, to me, we have a great relationship. I love it. Every time I see you, it's like a big old hug, but it's that ultimate respect, Coach.
Thank you.
And, you know, it's just something that you know, everybody was hard on us, but it's just that respect where, like, I mean, I watch you even when you walk up to places, how everybody stops and wants a little piece of you, you know?
Oh, it's kind of neat coming up to the football game. I was glad you asked me to come up here because I see Dr. Fareed, I saw Sandy Newsham, I see Joe Evangelist, all the down marker guys.
Yeah.
All, you know, I've been around all these fields, so it's
just good walking back around.
Right.
Hey, Coach, man, I want to thank you, and I can guarantee you one thing, Coach. This will not be the last time that you're up here. I mean, we look forward to seeing you for the Pell game, you know. On behalf of VSN, Coach, you know, I mean, we love you. We love you.
You're one of the best defensive ends I ever saw.
You know, that's why I get you up here, because you say that all the time.
Okay.
All right, Coach.
That way you asked me.
All right, VSN will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to VSN Halftime Show as we get ready to start the game with the score 20, Hopeville Vikings 7. I am getting Texas. We are watching what might be history. But listen, never count the Wildcats out. But also, Turner's in the position that he expected to be in. So congratulations to these Hopeville Vikings. And let's see what the second half gets us. Up here with us, there's a little bit of information, and I know the information changes all the time at school, is Joe Gonzalez. He's in his first term at the Brawley Union High School. Joe, what are some of the changes that are going on right now with the high school to do with sports? Are we going to see any more? Are we going to see athletes changing, being able to play two sports or anything like that?
As of right now, everything's changing, Will. You know, it's every day something new from the county. We just don't know. We just don't know if Monday they say, okay, they can play two sports. Right now it's one, and I mean, we wish these kids could play their double sports, you know, between baseball going on now and Carranza starting today, practice.
Right. We're too small. Our Imperial Valley's too small,
Way too small.
to not have athletes play twice. But I understand about following the guidelines. So, I mean, it's a catch 2020 there, you know?
We're just at the point right now where the kids are on the field. We made that big step. We're huge. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
huge for the county. I mean, it's let's get these kids out here and let them let's finish the year. You know, if they can't play the multiple sports, then at least they get to pick a sport that they get to play. I don't know what's going to happen with indoor sports. We're still, you know,
Yeah.
it's back and forth. I keep hearing different, you know, we hear so many different.
You know, that might be a subject we might want to talk to you about maybe early next week, Joe. But what about next week? VSN, by the way, will be at Imperial High School, and we get to see the Vikings again. We get to see, and the Vikings are beat up, so then, you know, Imperial is probably practicing right now because they're watching this thing. Coach Shaw is probably calling a practice right now. But one of the, I mean, I'm privileged to watch the game up here, and obviously you are and stuff, but are we going to get more fans? Are we going to go to 4 people next week? What's that looking like,
We're
Joe?
hoping. It's, again, Dr. Monday. We got to, you know, see what he comes up and lets us. We need more parents than this on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, in the stands. We need more spectators. These kids need the support. They you know, look at Hopeville. I think we have more people here than Hopeville does right now, you know, and that's sad. I'd love to see more parents out here and spectators. There's a lot of our old spectators that support Brawley football or Brawley athletics, and we just don't have them. So I'm not beating around the answer. I just don't know it, you know.
Yeah,
There's
no. And it wouldn't be fair to answer it because it does change from day to day,
Yeah,
Joe.
literally every day we're getting a new email, even Saturdays, saying this is going to happen. So
Well, Joe, thank you very much for sharing a little bit of insight for you. I get my partner back up here, and we'll get ready to start this second half. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to say I'm surprised, but what the Hopeville Vikings, talking to Coach Turner, we've been talking to Coach Turner since the end of last season. I mean, it was Turner time. This Coach Turner has been that excited. He was ranked number 1 in the division, in the CIF division. So, and here we go with the kickoff. And once again, it's a short kickoff. Ball will be placed on the 30, 35-yard line. It depends what Coach Self wants. He either takes it there or takes it on the 25-yard line. I'm sorry, not the 25. And do I have Ron back with me?
Yeah, sure. I thought I was fired. Had all these guests up here.
Well, you know, Ron, excuse me, but when you get people like Coach Cato,
Dignitaries.
yeah, you kind of, you know, actually I was looking for CJ to interview him up here, but sometimes we just get caught and we'll interview who it is. Now, Coach Self has elected to re-kick the ball, and let's see what happens on this kickoff right here.
And why wouldn't you? You get a 5 yards penalty back. You kick it into the wind. Wildcats need a good return and a good setup, and they need a drive. They need to score off this drive.
Yeah, because if he's still kicking it, you know, 25 yards in the air, that's going to give the Wildcats even better field position. Of course, you know, the wind has died down, but the Wildcats will be going with the wind on their backs.
We're looking at the flag that's at the west end of near the scoreboard. It's not as windy as it was. Good kick by number 40. It's going to take an odd little knuckleball bounce, and Figueroa falls on it.
Which is a smart play there.
Smart play. Ball's at the 28. It's going to be at the right hash. So let's see what Coach Young has in store for the Wildcats offense.
And while I have a minute here, one of our other sponsors, Brownie's Restaurant in Brawley, one of the COVID-19, I mean, that were affected with this whole ordeal. They're back. They're back in action with their great food. Give them a visit. Tell them Will sent you. Say hi to Juanita and Gabe for us. Happy birthday, Bella. Enjoy your time in Rosarito.
Ball's on the right hash. Brawley is under center. It's their wing formation. No, they have split backs to give is to. It's a keep by Ethan Gutierrez, and he's going to be brought down maybe for a 1 yard gain. And that's the defense stringing it out. That's what you want to do. Option football. Hey, make them run sideways. They're not gaining yards, and that's what happened. A gain of 1 yard. Gutierrez brought down after a 1 yard gain.
And, Ronnie, I have a surprise score coming up. I mean, whoa, we got a couple of things going. We got Vincent Memorial 37, Southwest Eagles 0 right now. That is Jalen Fong reporting from the Southwest Eagles Stadium down there. Wow. Ron.
couple of surprise scores going on, and this could be what you're going to see during this 6-game season. Reverse pivot by Gutierrez. He's blitzed by number 8. He throws wide open as Figueroa, and he's going to be brought down at the 32-yard line. One thing I've noticed, the Vikings are pretty crisp on their tackling.
Yeah, no. Once that first initial hit is done by the Hopeville Vikings, Ronnie, they're not getting more yards after that. And while I have a minute, please, people do not forget to read Murray Anderson's article on the Hopeville Tribune and the Calexico Chronicle. I mean, we've at VSN have been paying very much attention. Richard Brown has done an excellent job at the Calexico Chronicle, Hopeville Tribune. And when it comes to sports, Murray Anderson is your guy. And we look forward to reading that article tomorrow.
3rd and 7 at the 31-yard line of the Wildcats under center. Gutierrez is rolling to his left. He's looking, he's shooting down. Open is Nathan May at the 41-yard line of the Holtville Vikings, and that's what the doctor ordered.
Ron,
Wildcats moving the ball, 41-yard line of the Vikings. Make that the 42.
They might have awoken a giant with 1:03 left in the second quarter. Now the Wildcats, you got Ethan Gutierrez throwing darts.
Throwing darts, the wind's behind him. He rolled to his left. Something he's done a million times.
One other thing, Ron, Jason Turner's team right here. That's one of the things he's not going to do. He's not going to push that panic button. He's going to adjust his defense to these Brawley Wildcats.
Well, it's an important drive for the ballgame right here. You have Brawley that's down by 2 scores. They need a score. And then you have the Vikings who want to hold this 2-score lead.
Oh,
that's a good cushion. So
we got a timeout right now. And now that I have a timeout, I encourage everybody that's watching right now on our VSN channel on YouTube to go to our website, vsnsports.net. We will have highlights. We will have pictures of the Vincent Memorial and the Southwest Eagle game. Plus, we will have Jalen Fong, which is doing an article for us, and that article will be, on the Hopeville Vikings and Brawley Wildcat game, and it also include the Southwest Eagle Vincent Memorial game. So that's our new addition. Jalen, we're very happy with what we've seen. So please go and visit our website, comment, whether you like it or not, but we just want to hear what you people want to have. And there's another thing I'd like to throw out there. Wherever you're watching this game from, send us a picture. Take a picture and send it on our website and post it on Facebook on VSN. And we'd like to see what's going on out there. Where are you guys watching your game at?
1st and 10 for the Wildcats after that big connection from Gutierrez to Nathan May. Ball's at the 42-yard line of the Vikings. Wildcats have 2 receivers to the right of Gutierrez. Motion is Figueroa. The give is to Carranza. No, it's a keep. It's that RPO. Gutierrez finds it. He's running his way up to the 25-yard line. So that's the RPO that he once threw down here at the end of the second quarter to Figueroa. It's a run-pass option.
So, Ron, from what I'm seeing out of Ethan Gutierrez and that offensive line and the people on the outside, he feels comfortable running this, Ron. Is
the
that
outside, that's his, that's the style that fits the kind of quarterback that he is. It's the new trend. If you can have that type of quarterback, he's athletic enough to run. He has a great arm, and he's smart. That you have to be smart to be a quarterback. Bottom line, the kid has a talent. He's got an arm. He has legs. So it's something the Wildcats need to take advantage of.
Hopeville Vikings what are they in, a 4-3-4-4 run?
They're right now in a 4. They're in an even front. They have their backers up. It's a 4-4. It's not stacked. The pitch is out to Carranza. Carranza finds a little bit of space out to the outside, to the right side. Ball up to the 20-yard line. Positive yardage by the Wildcats right now. So that's going to be a 2nd down and 5.
Now, I had the opportunity to see Carranza run as a freshman. He was very impressive as a freshman. Now, up here at the varsity level, now he's showing me that he belongs up here, man. He is running with a little bit of attitude and a little bit of he's not acting like an underclassman, Ron.
Well, another injury by the Vikings, Jonathan Heraz, who caught that fade from Eric Garcia. Coming up limping, bad will, could be his ankle, could be a cramp. It's hard to tell.
He's going to have to stay down, go down, and then they'll call an official timeout. Nobody loses a timeout on this. There's no sense re-injuring or further injuring that injury. You know, they'll do what it takes to get them on there and then get them off safely.
Hey, you know what's a funny thing, Will? Well, it's something that always happens even during regular football seasons in the month of October, November. It gets cold. The kids don't drink water.
Yeah,
You know,
they forget to drink water.
Yeah, sometimes you just, you know, it could be that. We're not assuming, but it looks like a knee. I'm not too sure. So the list grows of injuries for the Vikings. First it was DeVoe, then Ramos, and now Heraz. Advantage for the Wildcats on a 2nd down and 5 from the 20-yard line. Wildcats in a tight wing set. Single back is back there, motion Figueroa. The pitch to Isaiah Young. He's looking to his right. He has room. He's around the corner. He cuts back, and there is a flag on the play. Flag about the 15-yard line. It may negate a good run by Isaiah Young.
Now, that flag was thrown by the flank official. Is that correct? Is that?
It sure looks like it.
It does, huh? That was thrown on the flank official on the Brawley side. And while I have a moment here, there's, you know, also, we'd like to say hello to some of the people that have played. I mean, he played for me in the Pop Warner levels, one of my favorite kids. He was just all-around athlete. Do you remember Abraham Lopez, coach?
Sure do. He's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, we'd like to – I think he's stationed right now in El Paso, Texas, man, and got a hat with his name on it. I mean, this guy is just one of the most positive, great attitude. He's a former Wildcat, went to college a couple of years and then joined the service. We are very proud of you, Abraham Lopez, and make sure you come and visit me when you're down. Here we go, Ronnie. Take it away.
2nd down and 10 with the penalty. And looks like Roman has jumped off sides, and that is Ordonez. Roman Ordonez jumping off sides, giving the 5 yards back that the Wildcats lost. So give and take now. It's going to be a 2nd down and 5 for the Wildcats at, let's say, the 21-yard line. Brawley is marching as they needed to. 7:57 remaining in the 2nd quarter. They trail 20-7.
Yeah, now, you know, maybe we're getting a little bit of antsy. Maybe both teams are getting a little bit of antsy, jumping off sides quite a bit, Ron.
Well, there's only 2 quarters left. Each play is going to count, man. Here's the pitch to Young again. Same play that he gained a couple of yards, and he's going to find his way all the way to the 5-yard line. That play was effective. Young came right back with it. Hey, if they can't stop it, keep knocking with it. So the ball's at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for the Wildcats. Right hash. Wildcats are doing what they needed to do. 7:34 remaining. They're draining the clock, driving the ball down.
Well, this is one of the things with 7:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is one of Coach's favorite thing to do is control that football, Ronnie.
Well, 6 there. He's taking a lot of time off. Working up on 5-minute drive right now. Gutierrez under center. The blitz again, and here's Young up the middle. Young all the way to the 2-yard line. And Hopeville may be blitzing themselves out of the play. They're walking up those backers. They're shooting, and the Wildcats are running to the opposite side of the blitz.
Well, Ron, look, we got coaches around the valley that are very curious about this game right now.
Brawl's at the 1-yard line, 1st and 2nd and goal. I'm sorry. Motion to Figueroa. The pitch to Figueroa. Kind of an odd pitch. Figueroa, that's low, and the ball's on the ground and recovered by the Vikings.
Change of possession there, Ron. This is not what the Wildcats needed and exactly what the Hopeville Vikings needed. Just when the Wildcats were driving down that field inside the 5-yard line, I can't see the hit that.
Hey, well, there's a personal foul as well, so we don't know what's going on with that. Hey, but the pitch wasn't there. I don't know if the pitch was deflected, but it stopped Figueroa's momentum. And if he catches that ball in stride, he's around the corner easily. He had to pull back for the pitch. Personal. Oh, wow. He may be kicked out of the game.
That's a negative. That's a negative. The thing is that since it was inside the 5-yard line, it's going to turn out to be a 2-yard penalty. But still, I don't understand what Jackson's doing. It just might have been a little bit of celebrating in front of the bench or celebrating in front of that. So those are the kind of emotions that they need to calm down now. I believe that tackle for the Hopeville Vikings was made by number 21, Isidro Garcia. He's the one that lowered that level and caused that ball to come out of the runner's arms. So the ball being placed on the 1-yard line, 2-yard line, Ron?
Eric Garcia gives. The give is to Ramos, I believe.
Ron, this is where the offensive line for that the Vikings, is going to have to do their job right now. You're talking number 75, number 57. You know, all these guys for the Vikings, they're going to have a little bit of breathing room.
Brings the ball out to the 5-yard line. A little bit of breathing room, as you say. The Wildcats right now, after that turnover, need to stop them down here and make them punt. The snap is to Garcia. The give is to Ramos. Ramos bulls his way another couple of yards. Looks like he's going to be stopped at the 6-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and 6. Big 3rd down play right here, Will. 3rd and 6 for the Wildcat defense.
You said it exactly. This is the ball's placed on the 7-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 6. You have 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go, and the Hopeville Vikings are going against the wind right now.
They're into the wind. Will the ball go up in the air? Garcia.
Oh.
It looked like a bad snap. I'm not sure if that was going to go, that short snap to the sniffer.
Yeah, that might have been that same play where it goes to the sniffer and he gets those, if he would have got the 7 yards, it would have been good, but not on a fumble like that, Ron.
Well, the fumble leads to a 2-yard loss, so it's going to be a 4th down and danger zone, man. Anytime you got your punter at the end zone, back line of the end zone, punting, hey, man, does Brawley go for it? As we said, special teams.
Well,
special teams may have been not neglected, but not, too much attention to it. Do you put pressure on them to block that punt?
I don't know. I think they're going to get good field position, so I just think that I don't know what Self's going to do.
Well, let's see.
But they do need to stay off that punter.
Young and Camilo are back to receive the punt. It's not a blitz. It's a decent punt. Camilo's coming up to it at the 25. It takes a bounce, and it bounces backward. It's a Brawley bounce. It's to the 15-yard line. So that ball got caught up in the air. It looked like it was going to be caught at the 25, 30-yard line. Hits the ground. Good decision by Daniel Camino to let that ball hit the ground.
Well, Ron, that's one of those things that the ball has taken a Brawley bounce each time, and it has benefited the Wildcats. The Vikings have to fall on that ball right away. There was 2 Vikings near it, and they were like watching it drop, and it goes back to them not having all that time to work on special teams, too.
4:42 remaining. Brawley gets the ball back. What did they do? They lost a couple of minutes on that drive. They had been chewing up 7 minutes of the clock in the 3rd quarter. Here it is, option. He pulls, he keeps, he throws it to, it's going to be a touchdown for the Wildcats. What a heads-up play. Hey, man, you wouldn't recommend them doing that, but maybe was he down?
On a broken play, Gutierrez somehow gets the ball off, but Ron, what's going on right now, you're going to see J.J. Jackson going to ask, where did he pitch it? Was the ball forward or not? It looks like it's going to count.
It's a touchdown.
Yeah.
That ball, from this angle, it was a legal backward pitch, option pitch. And, when
the Vikings had the ball run with 3rd and 7, and then they fumbled on there, that took away that little breathing room that they had. And then the short punt didn't help them at all. You punt the ball 30 yards in the air, and then you get a 15-yard bounce. So it puts us in that position with 4:32 to go.
Oh, high snap. No, it's fire. He's going to fire right. Is he going to run it in? He's going to run it in for 2 points. Heads-up play. Like I said, 2 back-to-back heads-up play by a smart kid quarterback right there, Ethan Gutierrez. Right there, it was a fire, hesitated. He thought, hey, does my kicker have time to get the extra point up? No. Bam, he switches it, gets around the end, 2-point conversion. We're looking at a Vikings 20, Wildcats 15, 4:32 in the 3rd quarter.
Now, Ron, I do have to be clear on this. The Wildcats had to work for all that right there.
Well, they made it hard on themselves. That fumble for Figueroa was on a bad pitch, whether it was deflected or not. Figueroa had the momentum. Had that pitch been in front of him, he could have caught it in stride and walked in if he wanted to. What happened was, recovered by the Vikings, great defensive stance by the Wildcats. We just said, on that possession, this was a very important possession.
Well,
and it turned out well for the Wildcats, advantage Wildcats.
With 4:32 to go, the score 20-15, like Ronnie just mentioned. This drive right here could be the transcender, Ron.
Here we see, what can the Vikings, who had a 20-point lead, they've seen it shrunk down to 5. Now, so now things are kind of swaying, the momentum.
The momentum
So now, a couple minutes ago, Vikings were riding high. Wildcats were low. Now the steam is coming back into the Wildcats. Let's see what the Vikings have. They have to answer the kick by Jorge Haro. It's a little short kick, but effective to the 15. Picked up by, is that Eric Garcia? Yes, it is. Garcia with a good little run back to the 32-yard line. Good field position. Anytime you get from the 30-yard line, hey, that's a plus for the receiving team.
And that was a tackle for the Wildcats, number 53. You know, as Ron said earlier, we don't have all those numbers on there for the Wildcats. But you got Chandler Self on the defensive side. He's firing up that defense right now. Number 41, Chandler Self. Look, he's that heart of that defense, Ron.
He's the heart of that defense. He's the captain of that defense. And that tackle right now was made by Seth Melendez, number 53, a senior. Bernie Bustamante, number 64, is coming in, coming out. He's not sure. Looks like a little bit of confusion on the Wildcat defense. They're not sure where to line up. Now they are. And here's a fade. And that is number 9.
Are we seeing a quarterback show from both these quarterbacks on each team right now?
Dorian Mays on the coverage was Daniel Camilo. Mays with a good reception. Mays is a returner, and him, the trio of Mays, Herraz, and Ramos, 9-5 and number 4. Hey, man, those kids did it last year, and they're doing it again tonight.
Turner's showing that him and the
let me tell you,
Vikings are not slowing down, and they're not afraid to go toe-to-toe again now.
And here we go. Garcia gives to Ramos. Ramos off the right tackle to the 40, 35, 32-yard line. I am not sure. I didn't catch whether Brawley was in a stunt, but let me tell you, offensive line of the Vikings are coming out the ball pretty strong.
Hey, those C's opened up at the line of scrimmage, and Ramos was able to just zigzag through there with he's so quick off the ball, though, Ron. Once he gets that handoff, he's just shooting through that hole, and that's all he needs is that little gap to get 7-8 yards on that.
Here we go. Vikings in their tight set to give us back to Ramos again. Ramos tries to find his way and brought down all the way from the other side of the field was Jaden Figueroa. I'm not sure if he fired on that, but, boy, he came and pursued and brought him down. No gain on that play.
Just the quickness showed on Figueroa right there, number 3. He, like you said, Ron, he came from the opposite side on the right side, defensive end position, and to make the tackle in there for about a 1 yard loss.
Yeah, 1 yard loss. We're looking down, second down at 11. Vikings at the Wildcat 34-yard line.
Hope everybody's enjoying the VSN broadcast.
And here's the fade again to number 9, Mays, and they're going to get
a flag.
They're going to get a flag.
Yeah. But not a bad play. He had it. He had it, and it's a great call. It's just a great call because ran into him, and the ball's going to be placed. The ball right now, line of scrimmage was about the 32.
So what happens on that? Well, 15-yard or
10-yard penalty.
yarder?
No, 15-yard penalty right there. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty. And the ball's going to be placed on the 28-yard line. And it's going to be a first down for the Wildcats, not 28, but it's going to be placed on the – Whoa, I'm not even watching this. I'm already counting.
Oh, what happened here? I didn't catch that.
So
I thought there was a PI, pass interference, and now there's a holding. Or don't they offset? Sure does. Let's hear what J.J. Jackson has to say.
Okay, so what confused me was Matus actually marked off where it doesn't count, but he went ahead and marked it off and then went back to 10 yards on the holding.
So offsetting penalties.
Yeah, offsetting penalties, right.
All right, here we go. Shotgun formation, tight set. The give back is to Ron. He cuts back to his left, and he's going to be brought down by Isaiah Young. 23, Isaiah Young from his quarterback spot.
And just when the Vikings didn't expect it, that holding penalty really hurt the Vikings.
Really hurt them. I mean, a holding penalty,
on the pass interference.
And is there a stoppage of time? Looks like Hopeville called a timeout.
And it's Ramos again hopping off the field right now. We have an injury on the Vikings. And so Hopeville Vikings now, they just want to replace him, get him back in there. You know, and Jose might be cramping up. He seems to be okay. Right now, he's their guy right now. He's their guy. Doing it on the offensive side and the defensive side of the field. So with third down and about 13 yards to go, 2:34 to go in the third quarter, we have a stoppage of the clock right now, and the Hopeville Vikings call a timeout.
Well, go ahead.
Don't forget, We'd like to thank everybody for watching our broadcast. It's just one of those things, the COVID year, COVID spring ball football. We are having a blast here, and like I said, we'd like to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to follow us on VSN on Facebook, and also go to our new website that was just created by Joaquin Matus, and that's at vsnsports.net, where you will see tonight's coverage of the game in video highlight form, and you will also see the Scots coming down to play at the Southwest Stadium against the Eagles, where the Scots were leading. We're trying to get a final on that game, but it was 37-0 with the Scots leading. Jalen Fong will have a story on that, and it will be featured on our new website as a story, as the Brawley Wildcats and the Hopeville Vikings to be featured on our website. And don't forget to read Murray Anderson. I personally, I go back to the 90s when Murray used to write for the newspaper in Imperial Valley. I mean, his articles are always great to read. And you can find his articles on Calexico Chronicle and the Hopeville Tribune. So great job on those newspapers, and really stepping up their and everything they're doing. They've been stepping it up their game. All right, back to action now, Ron.
3rd and 13 at the 35-yard line. Garcia with the snap. He's looking. He's going to throw the fade to Mays, and it's short, and it comes back. Mays came back for the ball, and looks like he didn't have a grip on it. It's a 4th down play. And again, he's throwing into the wind.
Yeah, he's throwing into the wind, which is making it a little bit difficult. And covering for the Wildcats was their number 24.
Danny Camilo. And there, one thing about Turner, man, he's had success going against Camilo, and this is the 3rd time he's going at him. So, little chess match here. 4th down and 13. Big play for the defense of the Wildcats. Can they stop him? Can they get the ball and turn over? He's looking. He's throwing down the middle. He's open. He's open all the way down to the 9-yard line. Again, Mays coming back to Mays time and time again. Hey, that's 3 passes on this series that I've seen.
Hey, Turner is not taking his foot off the pedal, Ron.
Well, you can't, man. There's a ton of time left. 2:22 remaining, 20-15, 2:19 remaining. 1st and goal for the Vikings. They can only get a touchdown, not a 1st down. Here's that set again. Garcia's making the plays when he has to. Mays is a pretty good receiver. There's the give, and that is number 24, I believe.
Yeah, and I didn't see what number it was. It's 24.
Peyton Knighton with the carry.
Yeah, and that's Chandler Self making the tackle out of his left linebacker position.
So here it is again. Each play is starting to matter now. Each play is big. Each series is big. 20-15, 1:44. The clock is moving. 2nd down and goal at the 7-yard line. Eiton in the backfield. The give is to Eiton. Eiton looks to his right. He gains a couple of yards, brought down by Nathan May and other Wildcats. Looks like who's on the bottom of that pile. Isaiah Young getting in there from the cornerback position. That's pretty good for a cornerback, getting inside on a dive play.
Yeah, right now with that shorter field the Vikings are facing right now with the ball being placed approximately on the 9-yard line, Ron. 3rd down, and they do have to score. They can't make a 1st down on that. So score 20-15 and less than a minute to go, 57-56. But the Vikings either want to do that and they want to go with the wind. They're letting the clock go down. They might call a timeout. He's playing it smart. He's got his head in the game. There it is. There's your timeout. And with 41 seconds to go, score 20. And the Brawley Wildcats 15. Once again, I'd like to give special thanks to the people that are helping us out here. Jonathan Butler out in the field. He's your highlight crew that will be showcased on vsnsports.net, our new reconstructed website. Of course, my partner, the guy that can break down any kind of film or any high school football game here or anywhere when it comes to high school football, Ron Rubio. Sarah Torres on the camera, always dependable and always takes care of us. Make sure, those days that are 115, 20 degrees.
Hey, I want to see what's in that snack bag. That's what I'm looking for.
The guy that makes everything happen. He's the glue to our operation.
The whiz kid, Joaquin Matus.
Joaquin Matus. A special thanks to him. We got a new system set up. I'm, probably the most relaxed you see me up here, right, Ron?
I don't know about that, man. Here it is. 3rd down and goal from the 8.
41 seconds to go for the end of this third quarter right here. Jason Turner, Hopeville Vikings, not letting up one bit. Not one bit. He glued down that gas pedal, and he's giving the Brawley Wildcats all he can.
Here we go. Merton in the backfield. Ramos taking the snap. Garcia's out, and he's going to run it down. Oh, and the Wildcats bring him down to the 2-yard line. 6-yard gain. Clock is ticking down. 31, 30, 29 seconds left. That may be the last play of the third quarter. They want to go with the win. And, wow, what do you know?
Ron, we've played 3 quarters of football here. We're facing a fourth down right now. Ball is being placed on the 3-yard line right now. If I'm a Wildcat fan right now sitting in the stands, are you surprised, Ron?
If you're a Wildcat fan right now, you want to be pinched. Are you dreaming that this is happening?
Now, what if you're a Hopeville Viking fan?
You're happy, and this is what you wanted. This is picture perfect. This is the recipe you needed. You're playing hard for 3 quarters. Can you hang on? Can you score right now? That's what we have right now.
Now, I'm not making no excuses, but I know there's situations in the Brawley program where 3 or 4 of their kids right now are having issues for not playing, and they were starters. Now, nobody on that program will use excuses. You know, it is what it is. You know, you still got to come out here and you still got to make plays. But when I look at the Hopeville Vikings, they've done what they've had to do. The Brawley Wildcats, they still have 1 quarter. They have 12 minutes of hard-notch football, and they're not pushing that panic button, Ron. I mean, I can guarantee you they're not pushing that panic button. They know, and they've proven tonight that they can score with 1 minute to go. That's been proven tonight here right before the half. So, you know, we got a fourth quarter that we're looking forward to right now, and VSN is happy to be here, happy to show it to you, and happy to be a part of it. Don't forget to visit our website at vsnsports.net and give us a follow, give us a like on Facebook and Instagram also, and our new Twitter account. Just look for VSN. Thank you very much. Ronnie, take it away. 4th down.
4th and goal at the 3. The snap is directed to Ramos, and Ramos is following his right side, and he's not in. He's not in. He's not in. From this angle, he did not get in. He had an alley. The alley closed. Wildcat defense they stop the drive.
And we have a final score from Southwest Stadium, 37, Vincent Memorial, 0 Southwest. But the people were going to be tuning on to this game, and then when they turn on the score, they're going to have to double-check the score. 20-15. The Wildcats just put down a goal line stance on a 4th down play with the start of the 4th quarter just happening right now. But listen, hey, Brawley's in the hole right now. I know they got to stop. And Hopeville was in the same situation when they were deep in the end zone, Ron.
99 yards away from a score. The give is to Isaiah Young, and Isaiah Young quickly takes it out to the 19-yard line. That's what you need. That's what the Wildcats needed, and they got it. A quick hitter off to the left side. Young's got it. Now is Brawley going to take their time and get a drive going here, which is that was the play they needed. They got out of the hole quickly on the 1st down pop. Good run by Isaiah Young off to the left side of the offensive line. They're now at the 18-yard line, it looks like. So it's a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Left hash, trips to the right. Gutierrez under center. Single back, I believe, is number 23, Isaiah Young. Oh, my Lord.
Okay, we have a penalty, and that might go against what?
You're lined up offside. I mean, that is a mental breakdown. The kid, Nathan May, an experienced ball player, lining up offsides.
Ron, I have a question. There might be something going on with Hopeville's kicking game. Just look, I haven't been there to practice. I can only assume, and I don't want to coach it from up here. But one of the things, Ron, by kicking a field goal when they were 4th and short right there, that would have made the score 23-15. I'm assuming that there's something going on he didn't have with this kicking game, that he didn't have the confidence in it, because there's no way that the Wildcats would have went ahead, you know, if they would even scored the 2-point conversion on that, you know. So, I mean, the 8 scores, so that could only have tied the game. Just something to think about, Coach.
Here it is. The give is to Cameron Gutierrez on the wing sweep, and he stopped.
That was just a hard hit.
He stopped after maybe a gain of 2 yards.
And that hit was by number 21, Isidro Garcia. And he's been in action all night putting in hard hits like that.
So you've had 2 negative plays by the Wildcats on this possession here. You've had a great run by Young to get him out of the hole. An illegal lined up off illegal procedure on the Wildcats, and now a play that was stopped from negative yardage. Not what you want when you're trying to come back. 10:40 remaining, 20-15 is the score. Ball at the 12-yard line. Motion is Gutierrez. That's Cameron Gutierrez. They'll give us to Young. It's pulled. It's thrown to Figueroa. That's that RPO thing. And
Ron, I thought the tackle was made in the backfield on Young back there.
well, that's why Gutierrez pulls at the very last second.
Okay, and it looks like we have another Hopeville Viking down.
Turner's upset about something, and somebody's down over there, and that might be Jeremiah Higgins. Jeremiah Higgins is down.
It looks number
Somebody
22.
better pick up Coach Turner's clipboard there. All them plays going to fly away.
All right, now that we have a minute in the break,
Hey, where are my
once
papers?
again, I'd like to thank VSN Farms for being a proud supporter of VSN. Ever since we started, they've been proud supporter. I know Danny Garcia's out there, and he's probably going crazy right now. And Danny was one of those guys. Sarah, am I correct? Danny was one of them guys that knew what the Hopeville Vikings had. So thank you, VSN Farms, and Danny, always a pleasure to talk to you all the time. And Frank's Graphic Graffiti, man. Once again, thank you for your support. And I'd also like to throw a special thanks to a special group of guys that put some things together to make VSN happen. The Camilos, I call them the Alamo Rio crew. That's Sheehan, Camilo, Washington, and Blas. Much thanks. Everything's appreciated. Appreciate what you guys do for VSN. Much, much appreciated. Thank you, guys.
So we have Jeremiah Higgins hobbling off the field again. Not sure, we don't want to speculate what it is, but he's got his right leg up in the air, hopping off the field. Could be a cramp. Higgins is the sniffer kid that's been playing, getting pretty good yards when they do the short snap to the 3rd down and 7 for the Wildcats. Fourth quarter, 10:21 remaining. They are trailing 20-15. Gutierrez under center. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. And there's that RPO. He fakes a pitch. And not going to get much off of that.
No.
Knocked down at the 20. If he gained a yard, maybe half a yard, maybe no yards.
That's Isidro.
It's
number
a
20.
4th down. It's a 4th down now. Great play by number 21 of the Hopeville Vikings.
Now, the Hopeville Vikings are getting beat up. I can guarantee you every single one of these Hopeville Vikings, if they can come out of here with a win, they'll gladly take those bumps and bruises.
For sure, for sure. Small price to pay for a victory.
Now, no slack next week. They got Imperial, and VSN will be there to have the Imperial game versus the Hopeville Vikings.
Nobody back to return. They may think it's a punt, it's a fake, but Figueroa's back. He gets a punt. It's hanging up in the air. Did the wind get it? And it takes a Brawley bounce. But even with the Brawley bounce, man, they're going to have great field position at the 44-yard line.
We have a flag, and it looks like it's away from the play. So I could only assume it's going to be some kind of personal foul between 2 of the players on each side. Let's just see who it goes against here. Now, the punt was, to tell you the truth, Ron, the punt against the wind was pretty good. They're spotting the ball right now on the 44-yard line. We'll see what happens. If it's a personal foul, it'd be considered a dead ball. And, Ron, on another note, Ron, this referee crew has actually done a very good job. They've actually let the kids play. Randy and Michael Garcia, JJ, the white hat out here, they've done an excellent job, and it's much appreciated. You said it earlier. It's a non-thankful job out here, and they've had this game running very smooth. So under the leadership of Gene Martin, Alan Phillips, and John Seaman, proud to have this crew out here. Good job, guys.
So what happens here? Well, they punted the ball. So personal foul. Is it?
It's going to
Why
go
does Hopeville keep the ball?
Well, because it's considered a dead ball. So
okay.
It'll be, even though it happened, the personal foul would be considered a dead ball. So then they tack on the 15 yards after that. And to tell you the truth, that's the kind of penalties you have to know you don't want to happen. They got penalized. The ball was on
the 44.
The 44-yard lines. and actually it was a little bit further than that because it's a 15-yard penalty. And then now it puts the Vikings not in the type of position they wanted to be in. They were only going to have to go 60, 55 yards, 60. Now, they're looking at 71 yards to go, Ron, and it is a big difference. It does make a difference when you have to travel that long. And I know that the Vikings are winning 20-15, but to give the ball up, if they do, it's going to hurt them.
9:19 remaining, 20-15 is the score. Vikings still leading. They have the ball at the 29-yard line.
And that's not to say we're watching a fabulous, great game between these two Warrior teams here.
Eric Garcia is in his shotgun formation to give us to Ramos off to the right. Ramos again finding a hole, and he's going to work his way up for a good 5-yard gain, 2nd down and 5, all the way up to their own 34-yard line.
Ramos has done that all night, Ronnie.
They've
Ramos has done that all night.
The offensive line is getting a good push by number 75, Roman Ordonez.
So with 9 minutes to go, we're looking at Hopeville with 1 timeout left and Brawley Wildcats with 2 timeouts left. No, with 1 timeout. Is that correct? With 2 timeouts left.
2nd down and 6. The snap to Garcia again, right off tackle to the right side. May missed the tackle, brought down by. Let's see who gets up there. That's another.
That's Chandler Self on the left-hand side from the inside linebacker. Chandler Self at number 37, Ron, for the Wildcats. Now,
Brody Enders on the tackle with Chandler Self. So the ball's at the 35-yard line of the Wildcats. The Vikings, 3rd and 5. Ball's in the middle of the field. Eric Garcia got the play call from Turner. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. While the Vikings taking their time, milking that clock, letting the play clock go down. Garcia, Brawley must watch the ball. Almost had it offsides there. The give is back to Garcia, again to the right side. Again, he has some room. 2 yards, 3 yards. Those add up. Now we're looking at is it 4th and 2? Will he go for it? 4th and 1.
This is going to be tight right here. Are they going to use that halfback, snap?
That sniff?
Yeah,
the
short
snap.
The problem is
they can't. Number 22's over here. He has not gone back into the ball game.
So Hopeville getting beat up, but not – they're taking a beating, but they're still giving it to these Wildcats, Ron. 4th and 2. Wildcats got to be careful not to jump off sides.
Watch the ball.
Either team's got to be careful not to jump off sides.
And the give is that short snap, and he stopped. He stopped.
They
gave it to
him.
He has it. It's a 1st down.
Okay, so
They have the 1st down, so it was a short snap to the sniffer. Nathan May looked like he may have taken a 1st down. Hopeville, very critical, 7:02 remaining.
Well, one of the things I'm seeing, Ron, the offensive line for the Hopeville Vikings controlling the defensive line for the Brawley Wildcats.
That's one thing I haven't really seen much of, the Wildcat defense getting penetration on this bunch of this line for the Vikings. Alonzo Valenzuela's been playing a pretty good ball game. I believe he's the center. The snap is to Garcia. He's looking for the fade. He's open. He's wide open.
Get it. Oh! And he happened to look inside the ball. But, Ron, that could have been where the wind came in and took it. Now, with 6:39 to go on a play that could have made a big difference right there, the Hopeville Vikings are still in good position with 2nd and 10 and the ball being placed on the 39-yard line. And Turner, I'm going to keep saying this. Turner is letting it fly, Ron. He's just letting it go.
You can't get conservative right now. If you do, you're only ahead by 1 score.
Right.
6 points, you're down. So here we go. And it's a bobbled snap. You haven't seen much, and that's pretty clean play by both teams. There's been a couple of fumbles. Garcia had trouble handling the snap. That's going to bring the ball back to the 36-yard line, making it now a 3rd and 13 for the Vikings. 3rd and 13, middle of the field. Clock is ticking down, 6:18, 6:17. Everybody's looking at the clock. It's winding down.
Well, one of the things is Turner does not want to give that ball over back to the Wildcats because they are deadly from anywhere inside this field, Ron. Third downs, like Ron said, clock ticking under 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
There's the fade again. It's down the middle of the field and not. It was shorthanded by Garcia. Number 9 had triple coverage, basically. It looked like a one-man route.
We had, exactly, that's what
It
I was
was a
going to say.
one-man route,
You
one-man
had one
route.
guy, so all the defensive backs went towards that one guy, and it, you know, the one thing that pass does do, Ron, it stops the clock. Both those passes had stopped the clock right now. The good thing is that they're in punt formation. If they do get the punt off, that, you know, hopefully that Hopeville gets that bounce they've been looking for because they haven't got that bounce, Ron.
Well, it's 4th down and 13. Isaiah Young and Daniel Camilo are back, and here's the punt. It's a decent one. It's going to go over Camilo's head. Now, I don't know why the Wildcats did not pick that ball up or catch it, and it's all the way back to the 20-yard line. So 80 yards away, 5:53 remaining. It's the Hopeville Vikings holding on to a 5-point lead, 20-15 lead over the Wildcats.
With the Hopeville Vikings, a lot of their stud players. Now, Ramos going back in there, but a lot of their stud players are on the sideline. They're hobbling around. They have 6 minutes to prove to this crowd right here, this COVID-19 crowd, that Hopeville belongs. In fact, they've already proved to me that they already belong in playing against the Brawley Wildcats or Imperial next week. These Hopeville Vikings are not to be taken lightly, Ron.
5:53 remaining. Up to this point, it's been a very good ball game. Surprising, yes.
Well, not if you're the Hopeville Vikings.
And here it is. He's being rushed. He's hit by number 4, Miraz, and Gutierrez took a big shot.
Oh, good.
Gutierrez took a big shot, and they're going to get Tomas Rubio. There was no need for that to happen. It was a clean play. He got hit. And it looks like that might be against the Wildcats, and that's something you don't need. You don't let the emotions take over. Now, instead of the 20-yard line, I think they'll be all the way back to the 5-yard line.
Tell me what happened, Ron. I thought they might have called it on the Vikings on number 4, and I thought that was a great play.
It was a great play.
What happened on that?
So Gutierrez goes to the ground, sacked by number 4, Hiraz, and then Tomas Rubio takes offense to his quarterback getting sacked and gave him a little shove.
Well, that just cost him 15 yards on that one.
15 yards. You know, you got to keep your head, man. Now you're in a hole. Now you're at the 10-yard line. 2nd down and forever. First down is at the 30, so you're looking at 20 yards for a first down. Time is ticking away. They give us, no, it's not. He rolled. He's being rushed, and he's going to be sacked for a safety. He is not. Is it a safety?
I don't.
They're
calling
safety.
it. They're calling it a safety right here. That just, the people across the field from these Hopeville Vikings are in shock. Now, these Hopeville Vikings, they are witnessing their Vikings taking control of the Brawley Wildcats, Ron.
It's a 22-15. It's a 7-point lead.
Wow.
5:38 remaining. It's not over for the Wildcats. They need to calm down. They can't, perfect example. You don't want to knock on the kid. Tomas Rubio has been a great football player for the Wildcats, but the moment caught up to him. A play's a play. You just line up. If you fail on one play, you get back in the huddle and you play again.
Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, Ron, that
hurt.
did hurt him. That hurt.
You know, and just like that one personal foul backed up the Vikings.
Yes, exactly.
They had the ball at the 44. They ended up all the way back to the 31. So that being said.
So let me explain what happens on this.
And now Hopeville's going to get the ball with 5:38 remaining.
So on a safety play right here, we have the Wildcats. Not only do the Vikings get 2 points on the board up here, the Hopeville Vikings are going to have to punt the Brawley Wildcats are going to have to kick the ball from their 20-yard line to the Hopeville Vikings. That gives them the ball. Why? It gives them good field position. 2, they're going to be going with the wind. 3, there's 5 minutes and 38 seconds. And then the other key thing, Ron, you have right now a 7-point lead by the Hopeville Vikings.
Jorge Hado's going to take he's going to regular kickoff from the 20-yard line. Can he get a deep kick? What's he going to do? It's up in the air. It's going to be bounces at the 40. It's live.
Need to get it.
And did the Wildcats get it?
It looks to me.
Did the Wildcats receive?
Yeah.
That's another Mental mistake. And it's
It is
the Wildcats ball.
Wildcat
I
ball.
do believe, I'm not sure who recovered it. If that was number 27, that was Julio Frutos.
So once that ball goes past the 10 yards, it's still considered a live ball. You got to jump on that ball. That's one of those mental mistakes. And once again,
Special teams.
the special teams, they didn't have enough time to always work on those. I'm sure that's what the case could be. It's something that, that sometimes it's just one of the last things that they do, I mean, I'm sure he wanted to get the ball, but now that opens the door for the Brawley Wildcats.
Well, those two, that safety, those 2 points was a big swing.
Yes, that's
Wildcats
big.
have got to score a touchdown and a field goal. They give us to Young. Young finds his way. Young is working his way up to all the way up to maybe the 32-yard line maybe. He's short by maybe half a yard. It's going to be second down, less than a yard.
And in for the tackle on the Vikings is number 9, I believe. That
was
is Dorian Mays.
Dorian Mays did very well on the offensive side. He had big catches. 5 minutes and 9 seconds and counting. 5:08, 5:07, 5:06. It's ticking. It's nervous time here at Burger Stadium. Vikings with the lead, 22-15. Gutierrez under center. Figueroa with the motion. Pitch to Young. Young to the 30. Young to the 20. Cuts back and a flag.
Ron, I saw that from up here.
Number 4.
He could have just let him go, Ron. He had his back towards me. I didn't know if he had his jersey, but it is going to be against number 4.
That is Cameron Gutierrez.
So with the 10-yard penalty, the Wildcats do not need that. Once again, we got 4:48 left, and the Wildcats do have 2 timeouts, and the Hopeville Vikings have 1 timeout left. Fourth quarter here at Burger Field. Excellent ball game. Way to start the spring football season in Imperial Valley. Proud to be here. Will Torres with Ron Rubio and Joaquin Matus. We're looking at right now what down is it? We still got first down, right? Because of the penalty, we're replaying it. We got first down and about 16 yards to go. It's wonderful to be out here. Don't forget to visit our website at vsnsports.net.
4:48 remaining, 22-15. Brian Porras is the center for the Wildcats. Trips bunt set for the Wildcats on the right. Figueroa in motion to the left. The snap. He's looking. Gutierrez is looking. He has time. He's rolling to his right. Another flag is down. The catch is made by Figueroa. And another. No, it's not. I thought he was going to do a late hit.
No,
not enough for a first down, but the flag was against the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's going to be an illegal formation, there it is. You're illegal against the Wildcats, and then that's one of those penalties. Now the Wildcats, this is what we didn't see in the first half. Them making those type of mistakes that we expected to see them, though, Ronnie. Those are some of the plays we expect, some of the penalties. And for being the first game in short practice, those are some of the ones we expected to see, and we're seeing them right now.
Well, at this point of a ball game, sometimes fatigue makes you not think too much. You lose focus, and you forget where to line up, I guess.
So it's still first down, Ronnie, and it's going to be first and then about 15 yards to go.
First and a mile to go for the Wildcats. You have double receivers on both sides. Gutierrez is looking. He has time. He's rolling to his left. He's being rushed by Heraz. And he's going to be sacked by Heraz. No, he's not. He springs out of it.
Oh, that is a Houdini move. That is a Houdini move. 3-4 tacklers were getting him until finally number 8 for the Hotel Vikings, C.J. Nunez gets him.
He looked like a bullfighter dodging a bull with his cape. He had enough sense to gain a yard. And it looks like Merton is down.
Yeah, Merton.
Ryder Merton looks like he's down. It could be he's out of gas. It could be that he's cramping up.
Let's just hope it's just a cramp because
the
Hopeville Vikings do not need any more players. I'm sure, Coach Shaw wants to play whoever it is. Yeah, it looks to be a cramp. And I'm sure Coach Shaw is looking at this game going, wait a minute, man. What am I looking at? Is it Hopeville playing up to the Wildcats, or the Wildcats not playing where they're supposed to always been at, Ron? So with the Hopeville Vikings, VSN will be at Imperial next week, where they host the Hopeville Vikings. If let me tell you, they already know that Hopeville showed up to their first game down here, so they know that they're going to expect the Hopeville Vikings. Hobbling or not, they're going to show up to that Imperial game, and they still got something to prove, as does Coach Shaw. You know, it's his first year coaching. It's going to be his first game under the lights at home, Ron. I mean, he's got something to prove, too.
We'll see how that goes next Friday night.
And they're still looking at Merck. It looks like it just be cramps. Of course, when you get hurt on the field, you do have to come off for one play, and then you can come on after that after you're examined. But with the score, Hopeville Vikings 22, Brawley Wildcats 15, 3:55 to go. It can be anybody's game right now, Ronnie. It's one of the questions is if the game does end in a tie. As a previous, John Seaman, will you text me if this game ends up in a tie? Are we going to have the playoff format? Seaman, if you can send me a text, I'd like that answer.
Merton's down for a while. Looks like they're working on him for a while there. I just got a text from a family, friends, family. A couple of servicemen out there I want to say hello to. One is Mikey Benson, who's serving at Nassau, Bahamas. He's working for the U.S. Embassy there. He's a full commander. He's an ex-first team All-American for the Coast Guard Academy back in 2000. Mikey Benson, love you, man. Glad you're out there listening to us.
Yeah, you know, Mikey Benson comes from a long
traditional family of football players. Brian,
I think
Big Bad Bob's
at Brawley still, right? Big Bad Bob's in Brawley right now.
And their mom was a pretty good tennis player, I hear.
All right, let's get back to some action here.
First and goal, second down and 20 for the Wildcats. Gutierrez looking. It's a little dump off to Carranza. That's Tanner Carranza all the way up to the 36-yard line. Got a good chunk of that yardage back that they need. 3:40 remaining. How many timeouts do the Wildcats have?
Wildcats have 2 timeouts. Hopeville Vikings have 1. And I just got confirmation. If somehow this game ends at a tie on regulation, they will go into overtime. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but that's just one of those things that we want to be aware of, especially with the score 15-22.
Third down and 11. Ball's at the 35-yard line for the Wildcats. Doubles, 2 receivers on both sides. It's a pass. He's looking. He's going to run up the middle. He's at the 30, 25-20, cuts back to the 15, bounces his way to the 12. So he's using his legs. That's Ethan Gutierrez, number 13.
Jeremiah Higgins is the one that hit him out of bounds down there, but not until he gets a first down, Ron.
First down, 2:59 remaining. Runs out of bounds, stops the clock, 22-15.
And here we
Vikings
go.
are leading, 2:59 remaining.
Merton's going back into the game.
Merton's back, Roman
number
Ordonez.
75 too. Yeah, Roman Ordonez. You know, this is where they're going to need these big boys.
This is crunch time, man.
This is the position they wanted to be in, though, Ron. This is where you want to be in. Listen, you want to be the Wildcats driving when you're down, and you want to be the Hopeville Vikings on defense right here leading when they're playing inside the red zone.
Ball's at the 15, right hash. Gutierrez under center. Tyler Carranza is the running back. And we're going to have a stoppage, a timeout for the Wildcats.
And that
looks like they may not have had for people they wanted in there. And now's not a time to have the wrong formation or wrong play called. So Wildcats with the timeout.
And just so that everybody knows right now, in case we go into a kicking formation or a kicking situation, the wind has died down. It's still about the 10, 11, 12, but it has died down. It did get nippy. It might be in about the 50s right now, Ron. But listen, the kids are playing football. I didn't even feel the cold till I started to notice, what the heck, man, this is a little chilly out here. But, you know, whatever happens, Ron, congratulations. You know, congratulations, first of all, to the whole Imperial Valley, the health, the superintendents from each school, the head coaches, and especially the ADs. The ADs right now are busting their butts just to get these games. Ron, can you imagine? All sports are going to start, you know. I mean, I know wrestling and some indoor sports are still in question, but to have every sport start, and so, you know, props to all those ADs out there from Imperial Valley.
Ball's at the 15-yard line. You're looking at a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the 15. 2:59 remaining. Motion is Figueroa. The pitch to Figueroa. He's trying to bounce to the outside. He has some room. He cuts it back. He's going to end up at the 5-yard line. So he gets a good chunk of yards there.
And I'll keep an eye on right here at the clock. We got 2:44, 2:43, 2:43, counting down. The Wildcats threatening to score. All they need is 2-3 yards for a first down. Then they can't get a first down inside, and that'll put them inside the 7-yard line, inside the 5-yard line. And once I got a little bit, just remind everybody there is indoor dining. Now it's restricted a little bit, but there is indoor dining at Brownie's Diner and Restaurant with the outside. So go and support Brownie's Diner.
Single back Carranza. The Wildcats are in wing formation. Figueroa again. And they give us to Carranza and another fumble. A fumbled snap. Not a fumbled snap, but
there was a fumble,
Figueroa,
but it bounced right back to him is what happened.
Fakes the pitch. It's a big windup. You fake like you're pitching out to Figueroa, and you get to your fullback. Not a very good mesh. Fumble on the play. Recovered by the Wildcats. 3rd down and 1. Fortunate mishap there. Bounce right back to him. 1:46 remaining. Like we said, the Wildcats are down by 7 points. It's 22-15. Clock is ticking. We're under 1 minute. We're under 140. It's 136, 135.
And the inside handoff. Ooh. It's going to be a first down, though, Ron.
First down. Does the clock stop, Will, for the change to move? 129.
As soon as that clock is set,
and
though,
there they
start.
are. They're knocking at the door. First and goal for Brawley at the 2-yard line.
2-yard line, Ron, at the 2-yard line. And the Wildcats are already lined up, ready to go.
Isaiah Young is the single back. Goal line formation to give to Young, and he's going to walk in, baby. He walks in for a touchdown. So, hey, they answered the bell. It's now 22-21.
Yes, because this is key right here. What does Self do? Does he go for the 2 or does he go for the tie?
I wouldn't want to be John Self right now.
Oh,
do you make the call to go for 2? Are you tied up? It's tied up.
John Self, he's going for the win. Look, he's in different territory. He wants to go for that win and get out.
Get out of here.
So
it's going to be a 2-point conversion from the 3-yard line. You have Young in the backfield. You have Gutierrez under center.
Could be
They're in wing formation. They give us to Young. He has room. He cuts back. He is helmets off, and he's in.
I see the signal that he is in.
Donovan Garcia, number 71. Helmet came flying off. Thought it was Young's. But Young managed to get in. 23-22, 113 remaining. Brawley up by 1. Still time for the Vikings to come through for a score.
Listen, with 1:13 left, and the Hopeville Vikings have 1 timeout. I wouldn't count anybody out here. I would not count anybody out.
Not the way this game's been going. You know, the momentum is swaying back and forth. And, hey.
This is what Imperial Valley needed right here. This kickoff game right here. This is what they needed. Thank you for everybody for joining, the 800 people watching right now on YouTube. We're very appreciative. Don't forget to follow and like. It's something that VSN wants to keep going. I mean, we want to improve our broadcast, and don't forget to leave your comments, and also send a picture to our website. That's vsnsports.net to where you're watching the game at. So maybe we can post those, in the next couple of days. And we're much appreciative. We're very thankful, and we're glad to be bringing you some high school football. After, Ron, it's so exciting to watch this game. To me, it doesn't matter what happens now. I mean, Hopeville brought it. Brawley comes back. I mean, it's going to be fun. So here we go with 1:13 left in regulation.
Jorge Hotto ready to kick off at the 40. Deep to receive. It looks like Garcia's back there. The kick is up. It's to the left. It's going to bounce at the 20. Picked up by Garcia, and he's finding his way up to the 28-yard line. So a good return by Garcia. Good field position. You're outside the 25-yard line, up by the 30-yard line, 28-yard line. What do you have, Mr. Turner? What does he have in his pocket? What can he come up with? 1:08 remaining.
Well, he can't come up with no more timeouts because he only has 1 left. And the other thing with 1:08, he's going to have to get downfield in a hurry, Ron.
Downfield in a hurry is correct. 1:08 remaining. You've been eating up the clock with the effective running game, getting yards off, running off tackle with Ramos. Now you have to entrust Jake Garcia, and I do not see him in there. I see number 2 as a quarterback. Is that Damian Rodriguez?
Well, it's not Ethan, number 13,
No.
that's for sure.
That's Damon Garcia. He's looking. He
Oh.
throws. He's just going to wind up. He throws. And that's a catch by Heraz. Incomplete. Incomplete pass to Jonathan Heraz. And it was just a jump ball. He was there. He had it.
Yeah.
Goes through his hands. And again, the cramps are happening.
The cramps are coming in
The
right now.
cramps are coming up.
You know, I made a mistake saying it's not 13 Gutierrez, but you're right. You know, these Hopeville Vikings are leaving everything on the field, Ron. They're leaving everything on the field. And that's not to say with 101 left to go in regulation time that they're giving up or nothing. That's not to say at all. But these Hopeville Vikings have proved to me, from all the interior linemen to the defensive, linemen, linebackers, that they came here and they gave Brawley all they had. So, let's see what happens.
Doubles formation. He has 2 receivers on both sides. They have not run the set very much tonight. Now that they need to pass, they are. That's Damian Rodriguez. He's looking. Nothing's there. Rushed by Figueroa and Nathan May. Made him rush. Incomplete pass. 54.4 seconds remaining. 3rd down and 10. 3rd and 10. 2 plays left to get 10 yards to keep the sticks moving and get some more plays, what they need.
That's going to be the key right now. I mean, I don't think they have to go with the 20-yard pass right now, but they do need to get that first down, because if you don't keep those sticks going with 1 timeout left.
They need 4 more plays. They need to get a first down right here. And now Garcia's back in there. Eric Garcia was in there. He's looking. He throws back. It's a setup screen to Ramos. Ramos at the 35. He's at the 40. Bounces out. Isaiah Young wraps him up at the 42. Knocked down at the 40. Good enough for a first down. 42 seconds remaining.
42 seconds.
Nice play there.
Now they will stop the clock to set the chains. They're starting it now. 40, 39.
Under center, trips to the left. He downs it. He kills the clock. Spikes the ball. 36 seconds remaining. And again, Ramos. It has to be cramped.
I mean,
it's just
for people to step up and replace Jose, to replace Ramos, that just gives a credit to this Hopeville program, man. And we have Hopeville as their last time out. Is that correct, Joaquin? That is Hopeville's last time out on a chilly, beautiful night, Saturday night edition for Imperial Valley football. Once again, a special thanks to the Vesey group, to Frank's Graphic Graffiti, and to C.J. Turner and Coach Turner for allowing VSN to come on this field and have a spectacular night.
Wildcats were caught off guard. I don't know what was happening there. And now here comes Chandler Self with his blitz. Heraz is back in the game. He's ready. He's got a first down. No, he does not. Knocked out at the 49-yard line.
Well, what I think they needed was some yardage on that play and to stop the clock. Those were the key components with 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds remaining. Ball's at the 49-yard line of the Vikings. Left hash. They have
23 to 22. The Wildcats are leading by 1 point.
20 yards back is a safety. That's Dawson Figueroa, number 22. So the Wildcats are not in a prevent, that's for sure. They're still playing it tight. Eric Garcia is the quarterback. Number 24 is Peyton Eichmann. That's the running back. He's looking. He has no time. He's rolling to his left. He throws. There's a flag. Caught, and that's Heraz again out at the 40-yard line.
Hold everything here. We're going to have a penalty called by
Holding.
JJ's holding against the Hopeville Vikings. And after a completion like that, that's one of the things you do not want to see, because you don't get none of that time back on the field right there. And I think he's talking to the lineman who committed that penalty, but irrelevant. It doesn't matter because it's called and it's going to be counted against them. They'll move that ball 10 yards back on that holding, and they'll replay third down. Is that third down, Ron?
Third
yeah.
down, ball at the 26-yard line.
So,
penalties are now cropping its ugly head on both sides of the, both teams.
You're looking at
started committing these penalties.
Yeah.
Now you're looking at a 3rd and 15. Eric Garcia's played a pretty good ball game coming in. He's throwing the fade. It's Heraz, and Heraz.
Wait.
What are you going to call on that, Will?
We got the catch, though. We got the catch, Ron. The only bad thing is we have the or did he step out of bounds? What he might call.
I'm not sure.
Stepped out of bounds, came back in, and caught the ball. Because I mean, they wouldn't be marking that if it was a pass interference. So let's see what the call is. I'm saying that he might have stepped out and then came back in.
And the way they're walking with the ball, I do believe you might be right, and it is. Illegal participation, is that the what is that? Oh, I'm not sure who the penalty was against. I mean, of the Wildcats. It was against the Wildcats.
Okay.
10-yarder, 15-yarder.
No, it's a 15-yarder, but
And
it is going
that's
to be
exactly
enough
what
for a
they
first down.
needed. That's exactly what they needed. It was a 3rd and 15. They get the pass interference call.
Well, I'm
Ball's
out of
inside at
practice.
the 49-yard line. We have 2 receivers to the right of Garcia. Single back is number 24. I believe that's Aiton. He's looking. He's throwing. He's open. It's Mays caught at the 35-yard line.
10. Now they got to stop the clock. There
9
it is.
seconds.
They're stopping it at 9 seconds. They're going to set the chains. Is he going to spike the ball? The
Yes, he
chains
is.
are not set, though. The chains are not set. So are they going to give him the spike, or did they stop it?
Well, the clock didn't move. There was 9.8 seconds after the catch. There's still 9.8 seconds left.
Okay. So they are going to give him. It's going to be.
Second down.
He
Or
hasn't-
are they?
No. I believe they got to give him the second down. I mean, I don't know why they haven't changed it over there. But yeah,
They are
no,
now at
they gave
second
him the
down.
spike. They gave him the spike. You know, so they gave him the spike. Second down. 9 seconds to go, people. 9.8 seconds to go.
Second down and 10. Garcia's back with, and there is what is happening here.
There is movement now. With the umpire calling that, it might be against the Hopeville
It
Vikings.
looks like it. No, the center moved the ball.
Yeah.
And another 5 yards back. Like I just said earlier, a few seconds ago, penalties are starting to come up at a time when you don't need them.
Yeah, but Ron, you also said this. Fatigue might be playing in
That's
a
true.
factor into
True
that.
So here we go. Back with Garcia's Peyton Knighton. That's number 24. Garcia is your quarterback. He's throwing a fade to number 4, and it's incomplete.
Well, with pressure being applied by the Wildcats, number 32 and number 19, he had to get rid of that ball, and they just weren't. And he threw it to the outside, and Hopeville's receiver ran to the inside on the post pattern.
5.6 seconds remaining. Could this be the last play of the ball game?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be the last play of the ball game, but we're looking at
3rd down and 15.
yeah, I'm just not. You know, yeah, they just haven't changed it up on the clock, but I'm seeing the marker on the field as 3rd down. They just haven't changed it up on the scoreboard because I'm sure the scoreboard's into the game.
Double doubles. There's 2 receivers on both sides of the quarterback. That's Eric Garcia. Garcia's looking. He's blitzed. He throws it up for grabs. Dawson Figueroa had a chance at it. Drops it. 0.5 seconds remaining.
0.5 seconds. Does Turner have one deep that he's been hanging on to? Does Coach Turner have one play that
The game could have been decided right there. Right, you have to make plays. On defense, if you're Brawley Wildcats, you want that interception. Call it a day. The game's over. Instead, you have one more play left. 0.5 seconds left. And here we go. Last play of the ball game, folks. Ball at the 40-yard line. Eric Garcia, he's looking. He's being rushed. That's Mario Casares. He's throwing it up for grabs. He's open.
He has some man.
Knocked down by Daniel Camilo. Game over.
Ron,
Game
if that
over.
ball hadn't been tipped, the possibility of him catching that was pretty good.
This
I
game
mean,
went down to the very last play of the ball game.
You know what? Hold your heads up high, Hopeville. Hold your heads up high. We witnessed a great ball game right here. We witnessed the Hopeville Vikings coming out here and taking the lead in the halftime. Key play of the game, Ron, I'm going to have to say it was that after Hopeville got that safety and then Brawley kicked off, didn't recover that ball.
That was a big play.
That
big
was a
mistake
big
right
play.
there. And, you know.
I really listen. Tough ball game. This is what we wanted, Ron. We kind of expected that a little bit. The way
Right.
Turner was talking to us, you know. And look, it's not that they don't want to shake hands. Let me get something straight. It's not that they don't want to shake hands. It's the COVID rules. But I don't know what the situation is. But yeah, I mean, look.
This is good sportsmanship
yeah.
right here. This is a beautiful sight right here,
Oh.
man. I just love seeing the colors blending in together.
Yeah.
Two teams battled it out to the very end. Hey, man, what you couldn't ask for anything more. And very honored and privileged to be here calling this and just seeing this right here. It'd been over 465 days since our last broadcast, and here we are, Wildcats pulling out a 1-point victory. And hats off to both teams, both schools. Congratulations, you did it. Football's back here in the Imperial Valley.
Yeah. For Will Torres, Ron Rubio, Joaquin Matus, Sarah Torres, Jonathan Butler on the field, and the new addition to VSN Sports, Jalen, reporting from the Southwest Vincent Memorial game. We just witnessed one of the best games. Well, of course, the best game of the season. But, Hopeville was down to the wire, almost making history, Ron. Almost making history. And Hopeville can't sit here. Hopeville cannot sit here and just say, oh, we could have did this, we could have did that. You know what? They got to get ready for Imperial, Ron. That's the attitude they got to take. They got to get ready to Imperial. They got Imperial at Hopeville, and VSN Sports will be there. We thank everybody for joining us. Have a safe night. Support your local high schools. From Will Torres, Ron Rubio, and the rest of the VSN